Yeah. Niggas must think it's some joke thing, yeah. Not around here, mate. Got enough for a week in my back pocket. Stacks got it, cause the cat's copy. Trap profit, plus we pack rockets. Feet all on the desk in the back office. Black bosses, yeah I chat honest. You wire whack fussies, food buy and stamp on it. From the crack boxes and the tracks rocking to the snapback cap, man a graph properly. My niggas spitting MC, get bread pon the road plus legitimate P. Feds wanna roll, bloods acquitted with ease. Man I peddling O's to the bricks of them B's. I'm the center of the team. Done you lend me all your P's, probably spend them in a week. Comes to the gums, man I mention in a G. Blood I'm done with the cars, pay attention to the T. Don't start nothing, lest your motherfucking cocksuckers want something. Quick switch up, different cars stunting. Have it playing in the club, keep the dance pumping. Don't start nothing, it won't be nothing. Don't start nothing, it won't be nothing. Told them don't start nothing and it won't be nothing. Don't start nothing, it won't be nothing. Son, you got bars, but you're not hard. A dozen cop cars, I'm a rock star. Shot bars, plus the top yard. Doesn't stop, dog, I never crop starts. Fully shoots, think they're bulletproof. Seen the bullets prove I'm wrong when I pull it, boo. Better call it, dude, or the tool soon. Leave you laid on your face with a mullet weed. Grind, best on the rhyme. Bust your jaw if you step to a guy. Rep for the side, tech or the 9. Plus 4-4 like a text on the line. Peeps wanna run on our brother's peas. Bring the heat to your mug like a cup of tea. White BM, baby mother sweet. None of y'all niggas can't fuck with me, suck my teeth. Don't start nothing, lest your motherfucking cocksuckers want something. Quick switch up, different cars stunting. Have it playing in the club, keep the dance pumping. Don't start nothing, it won't be nothing. Don't start nothing, it won't be nothing. Told them don't start nothing and it won't be nothing. Don't start nothing, it won't be nothing.
Yes, people, it's the Express Truth Show, making Thursdays great again. Truth Tellers Part 3. When I'm talking about Part 3, Truth Tellers Episode 3, people. We're back up in the building, man. We're live right now on Rumble and on YouTube, man. So let's get into this thing, people. Truth Tellers Episode 3.
I got my new thing imported. I got the Chris in the order. They wanna look at the foreign. They couldn't even afford it. Look what I did with the bag. Look what I did with the bag. I got the thing in the back, and I ain't taking no chat. I got my new thing imported. I got the Chris in the order. They wanna look at the foreign. They couldn't even afford.
Yes, people, we're back up in the building, man. Express Truth Show. Truth Tellers Episode 3. You already know what time it is, man. We said we'll let this thing somewhat blow over before we come into this thing. We're not trying to, you know how we are, man. We're not one of those people that are running down views or running down clout. We'll talk about it when we're ready. So we're in the building today, people, live phoning. The phone lines will be open and we can discuss some of this madness that's been going on. We can discuss definitely some of this madness that has been going on since last Monday. Some weird comments were left in the chat the other day. Some very weird comments. I'm hoping them people that left those comments are in the building today. I can see the chat slowly bubbling up. We're in the building, man, so no long talking. Let me bring in my co-host, Stephen Brown. Stephen, what are you saying, man?
Yo, I'm there, you know. Express Truth Show, making Thursdays great again, never late again. It's the greatest show on earth, changing the world one Thursday at a time. All that gas and jazz. But before we kick it off like a game of FIFA, talk to me nice, G.
Chilling, you know, fam. Relaxing, man. You already know what time it is, man. We're making Thursdays great again, and I'm excited. It's been
Bible facts.
what I
Hold
think it
on,
was
Mark, before you even start,
February,
hold on.
Stephen.
We live?
We're live, man. We're live and direct.
You couldn't
man.
tell me we live. We're free, yo. I'm a bit nervous. you know,
7:36 people. We live. This ain't no playback or none of that. We're live
no,
right now.
live.
Live. So
I watch
as
my
this
P's
thing
and
bubbles
Q's,
up,
oh, Lord.
you can phone in, have your say. So what you saying, Steve? Before we get into it, what you saying, Steve, and what's going on? Cause I know we're live and not usually it's pre-record. We're live and all that. So what you saying?
Gang. What am I saying? I'm saying it's time to tell the truth, man. Truth tellers. What is episode 3? My God, there's so much we do already. People, them. It's been a crazy week. We can see that there's been a lot of fear-mongering going on. There's been some actual call to arms going on. I feel like there's been a lot of media misdirection. But it's truth tellers, man. Like, we're not going to take all the spotlight tonight. It's your chance to, you're the voice, man. It's your chance to take over. It's your show, you know. It's truth tellers. We're giving back to the people, man.
That's a fact. So don't be shy, people. If you call in, make sure you turn down your phone or your computer and call in and have your say, man. So, okay, let's lay the table, man, before we open up the phone lines. So, last week, Monday, Britain was shaken up. And why was Britain shaken up? Britain was shaken up because there was a horrific attack that took place in Southport, Merseyside. Now, when this attack went down, everyone was wondering who did it. Now, let's not pretend, people. We have become desensitized to these type of attacks. Like, one day you hear a man took a samurai sword and killed a child. Then you're hearing a man in Nottingham burnt down a house with people in there. There was a next crime where that guy in Nottingham just went on a rampage. There was one in Brum not too long ago. Was it a couple of years back, Stephen? I think we covered it. So the public are hearing about these type of cases more and more often. So when this one came out, it was a bit different now because it was children. So once people knew it was children, I could feel it was going to be different this time because it was children. Now, the media, they were very slow to publish any details about this individual. So when the media done that and they didn't publish no details, what did people start doing? People started making up their own narratives. You've got X, formerly known as Twitter now, where guys can just publish a man's picture. Like, you can just put up a man's picture. Andrew Tate did it. Some other high-profile people on X did it. Now, what that did is that put a lot of rumors out there. Is this guy Muslim? Is he an immigrant? And we said it on Unfiltered last week, that of course the indigenous would be angry. Now, a lot of people were upset with us saying that. They're like, what do you mean what do you mean they're angry? Well, they didn't come out when the black guy got killed with the samurai sword. Let me just come out and say it now. This is truth tellers.
I don't think black people even came out there.
Black people didn't come out for that. We can't expect, we cannot, as black people, expect white people to be marching for us. That humans are tribal. We know that. So they're not going to march for no black youth. But when it's 3 white girls, you know they're going to come out because that's their tribe. So let's not pretend. Let's not act like there's anything strange about that. So
from your oppressor.
Oh yeah, big up R2, big up. Let me not try and pay attention too much because it takes me away from the thing.
I got them, man.
All right, say no more. So yeah. So from that point, everyone was worried. Oh, who did it? Even us ourselves, people were messaging us saying, please let it be a black man. Please let it be a black man. What happens? It was a black man. Now, from that point, we had all these guys coming out. There were videos, like, when I tell you people, like, the amount of videos that we ourselves have got, videos of attacks, videos of groups, videos of fighting, all kind of videos. So if you just look through a social media lens, it looked like anarchy. That's what it looked like. It looked like anarchy. Now, what I think, Stephen, is as the time was going on, the media started pushing this more and more and more. Then we started getting text messages. Yeah, there's going to be this protest here. There's going to be that Matter of fact, Stephen, I'm sure someone sent a thing yesterday and said there was 100 planned protests yesterday.
Mark, not to cut you
Come
off,
true, man.
Kate.
Come true, man.
I believe there was a timetable. Wasn't there a full timetable floating around yesterday?
Yes.
I received it more than once. I think I sent it to you, but I know you probably received it more than once anyway. And it was like Birmingham, Jewelry Quarter, Frederick Street. That's why Jewelry Quarter was for those who are local to Birmingham. That's why Jewelry Quarter was closed yesterday, and you saw all the people you would have seen and photographed and in the Birmingham Mail standing around. Those weren't the far right. I'm hearing those were the counter protesters, but
no, that's confirmed, Stephen. It was counter protesters.
Okay, it's confirmed. It was the counter protesters, and the far right didn't turn up. But we're not surprised, man, because I've said it time and time again, and we've experienced it firsthand when we went down to London on the heels of the whole Black Lives Matter. Well, I don't like saying it like that. The whole George Floyd and those boys were going to come down, and they tried to come under the guise of protecting statues. But from we heard that women and children were down there, we said, no, we have to go. And what happened then? Nothing. A few little Daves and Bills got punched up, but there wasn't a major. It wasn't like, basically, let's say, pull it like this. It wasn't like that scene in Higher Learning when man's linked up and scrapped. That didn't happen because they didn't turn up. And I was saying this to Mark, and I believe I said it on the air, and if not, I'll say it now. And I was in the gym yesterday, and I said it to the Muslim brothers as well. And I was saying, like, I said, yo, even shout out to the Muslim community as well, because you see they came out in defense of their community in Borsley Green, but nothing happened. They didn't turn up again. And I said, I'm not surprised, because you have to realize these men, they may be coming from the culture of football hooliganism, but they don't actually want any smoke, you know, Mark. And for those who don't speak any Ebonics, I'll explain by that. I mean, they don't want any problems, really. They want to come out and cause a ruckus and beat up people if it's 20 versus 1. But if they feel like, I feel like anyway, and I've been proven right several times now, they feel like they're going to get any resistance, they don't come out. They didn't come out in London when we went down. They didn't come out yesterday in the Jewelry Quarter. They didn't come out to Borsley Green.
No, but Stephen, that's what I'm saying, though. Them text messages, were they accurate, though?
They're probably not accurate anyway.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
I think it was to bring out the counter protest
to make the situation look worse.
Yeah, because if you go back the day before, big up the Muslim community in Brom.
Gang.
The Muslim community came out heavy, and that was all off the back of rumored protests. But none of these protests had taken place. Not even one group turned up. And then I started thinking to myself, and I'm like, Mark, why are you following what these folks are saying? I grew up in Erdington, people. Yeah? Any man who grew up in Erdington, you know what time it was in them days. It was racist in them days. Falcon Lodge in Sutton, all them places. King's Standing. You know how much far right we had to scrap. But the far right don't never come out the way how they were saying. People.
Just pop up.
Stephen Lawrence, Anthony Walker, there's numerous others that we could mention. That's how the far right come.
They don't give you a heads up.
They don't give you no heads up.
But Mark, you know,
or none of that.
Sorry to cut you again, King. But you know the the list, and there was alleged. Pablo says the anti-protest kind of procedure right wing from an optics perspective. But the thing is, with a protest, legal, if you're going to protest, you have to inform the police. Like, you have to. So I'm not trying to say like it was definitely real or it was going to happen, but you have to inform the police, because it's illegal. You're legally allowed to protest something, aren't you? A riot's something totally different. But even if we flash back to last week when we broke it down on Unfiltered, and we were talking about the aggression of the Southport community and and I'm not gonna lie, I still feel like it's been a big mismanagement by the media cycle to this point as well, because I feel like I know it's kind of shifted away from the Southport thing, but even if you look back at that situation, which someone could argue is the catalyst that kicked everything off, they still haven't handled the identity of the perpetrator properly, because you're putting up old pictures in his school uniform. I've seen people putting up video marks saying, "Oh, in 2011 he was part of a children in need ad," and I'm like, "Come on, man, you're just adding fuel to the fire now, aren't you?" But but my whole point was, and I don't want, I'll clarify it now, and I feel like you might agree, but I don't want to speak for you, Mark. People were like, "Oh, nah, you can't defend it." We weren't defending that man. I was defending that man's right to aggression on the back of such a heinous act. But from I saw you wanted to go run to a mosque because it suited your racist agenda, I'm not with that. And if you're trying to say, "Oh, it was a black youth," unfortunately it was, but we didn't know at the time. "Oh, it was someone from Rwanda, it was a foreigner, it was immigrants, get them out," because you wanted to pick whatever information you wanted to suit your narrative, which people always do. Dosa David, where were the far right when Lucy Lefby killed those babies? I said the same thing. I agree.
That's true.
From I saw a man turning over a Greggs in an England shirt, one handful of gingerbread man, one handful of cookie, and me see a next bunch of riffraff that turn over a shoe zone, my guy. A shoe, not even a Clark's, a shoe zone, my
Now,
guy.
but Stephen, you know what it is though, yeah?
Come on, bro.
You have to remember, you see, with these type of things, yeah, I've really sat down and studied this thing, and I've looked at a lot of these protests with the alleged far right, yeah, and when I look there, I've seen women, I've seen elderly, I've seen teenagers, all out standing together. Now, I get it that Tommy Robinson has his football hooligans that we already went London for them back in 2020. So we know how they roll.
So long ago.
We know how they roll. We know that they got the Tommy Robinson side. What's worrying to me, and the bigger conversation that I think black people should be having, is when you look at these gatherings, there's women, teenagers, children, all of that. Now I'm saying these are people that are working in and around society. It could be your children's school teacher.
Facts.
It could be your judge. It
Facts.
could be an off-duty police.
Facts.
So these conversations, yeah, we can't dismiss them. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying we can't just dismiss everybody who's out there. We have to understand what are these actual concerns. Now, all I've been hearing from, I'd say from 99% of people, is there is no concerns, they're just racist. Now, that could be true, but when I've actually spoke to one of these men, they're talking about mental health reform and all that type of thing. Like, the problem with this, people, is there's like 5 different issues rolled into one. So when you're watching these guys on TV, some of them are talking about immigration. Some of them are talking about like the hotels where them men are coming out and selling drugs and doing all of that. Then you got some people who's talking about knife crime. So there's all these different issues rolled into one. So that's what's blurred the lines. And then all of a sudden it just became almost like like one big scaremongering thing, if you ask me. Like, all these people just started coming out the woodwork saying the far right were coming down here and the far right were coming down there. I just think that the media want this. They want us to believe that there's some big war going on outside. Even Walthamstow, thousands were out there. I'm like, yo, when have we ever known? Yo, I'm born and raised in England, When have we ever known the far right to move like that? In my dad's days, they used to come out like that. But in our days, they do what they did to Stephen Lawrence. They pick man off like that. So when I'm telling man, be careful, even when I said to you, Stephen, yo, obviously I know man ain't going to run up on you like that one-on-one. But I'm saying just how you're moving, just be very aware of your surroundings. Because the far right don't come out the way how the media's been saying. They pick man off one by one. That's how they do it. So
Mark, if we sorry to cut you, G. There's gonna be a lot of this tonight. I apologize.
Nah, man, we got a lot to discuss tonight. Phone line soon open. People come through, Stephen. Come.
It's soon open. If we're keeping it Birmingham for a moment, there's also another thing that's been going around. Mark, you sent it to me, and I've had it a few times. Apparently, they got poster coming around. I don't want to pull it up because I don't want to look like we're pushing propaganda. But they're supposed to be coming down next Saturday, Bullring, 1 p.m. So them say. But like Mark said, even historically, like I've never known when men are having these levels of racism, I've never known them to give their potential victims a head up to get organized or form any form of resistance.
Thank you.
Even to the police to form any form.
But this is what I'm saying.
Resistance.
Like, you gotta think how this thing's been laid out, people. All of a sudden, first of all, yeah, it was about immigrants. It was an immigrant who done it. Andrew Tate and all the. I told you, man, about Andrew Tate years ago. Anyway,
we said he was a sausage.
We told you like that. This is just a guy who's well spoken. He's got a bit of money, and people. He's like an influencer, if you ask me. He's an influencer, but that's why you see why the one drop rule would never ever count for me is because of an individual like Andrew Tate. You know, that's why the one drop rule never ever exists in my world. Because he's got that little piece of black in him that he's able to say certain things. And if anyone says, oh, well, I'm black, but come on, all his women are non-black. All his youths are non-black. You don't see him pushing nothing black at all. So these man, it's like, I'm like, these guys helped push this turmoil. They helped push this. Like all these planned marches yesterday, people, come on, man. Not even one set of the far right turned up. And let's not get it twisted like this narrative, these man didn't turn up, like they seen people outside and didn't turn up. People, they weren't coming out anyway. Them people you seen in Sunderland and all them places, Sunderland and them kind of places, yeah, are like 95% white. So that was just some guys.
That's where they're going to kick off, yeah.
Yeah, the football season's over. There's a couple guys who, they don't care nothing about immigration policies or none of that. They've just came out because it's like, yo, there's something to do. And they've just came out, and then those happen to be the guys that the videos are going viral for. Now, these videos are getting shared, and all of a sudden, it's like we believe that there's some race war going on. Now, I'm not saying that, when I'm talking about a race war, you know, I'm not talking about 1,000 black men and 1,000 white men running at each other. That ain't never going to happen, people. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about, we don't want another Stephen Lawrence. That's what we're talking about. We don't want an innocent black boy who's walking home or who's not involved in nothing to be attacked by these thugs. That's what we're talking about. But at the same time, do these people that are talking, Stephen, because we ain't going to come on here and just dismiss. Mm-hmm. What is it that these people are saying? Do they have genuine concern? Because one thing that's bothered me throughout all of this year is that we've completely forgot about the horrific attack. People have been, little girls, yeah. I'm talking as a man who's got a daughter, you know. So what I'm trying to say to you is, Collar don't come into it for me at that point. So what I'm saying is, how do we prevent, or how do we at least try to prevent attacks like this? We ain't even been able to discuss that. Because it's nothing but scaremongering and fear-mongering and false senses of victory. There ain't no victory because men are coming out and standing up on the road. There ain't no victory. Like, we have to get back to the important conversation. These little girls were killed. And how do we prevent these things? On the Saturday stream, I said it. I gave an example. Birmingham people, you'll know this story. Christina Edkins, that family was failed. So that's what I'm talking about. Now, the end of the day, people, Tommy Robinson and all them people, Andrew Tate, they have big followings and they can manipulate the masses to believe that the immigrants or whoever else are the reason for their sad lives. That's not the case, man. Stephen, what are you saying?
If we take a moment to think, do we feel like, because the media's always playing a hand in this, but they've played their part in this very well. Like, they've stirred the pot, so they want it to seem like, oh, you guys should be against these guys because these guys are coming over and da-da-da-da. You know what I'm trying to say? Because they could handle things better, like the immigration issues, they could handle better. The mental health, they could handle better. Because how many times have there been killings like this? And it's always, this person was known to the mental health facilities and all the police, and nothing was done. Because I know that was the fact in Nottingham with that black guy who was cutting up people. I feel like it was the same, Mark. Wasn't it the same for the Birmingham one? And to make the Birmingham one even worse, the wasteman in question, he was across from Steelhouse Lane, which is like the big police station in Birmingham City Centre. The biggest in Brom. And he was able to do what he was doing, hurt whoever he wanted to hurt.
Terrorists. But, yeah, facts, S. They are terrorists.
They are terrorists.
They are terrorists.
I said this already, but that's what I mean. Like, even, all right, I know I'm all over the place. Even a small thing like the word terrorist or terrorism, due to Afghanistan and all of them, I'm really making you cast your mind back. We've been spun from the media because remember they were showing us dead bodies all the time. They were desensitizing you to the war. They wanted you to look at these people and say, yo, they're not even human. To the point of now, when you hear the word terrorism, let's be real, I'll call a spade a spade. It's express truth. Your mind would automatically, not mine, but a lot of people's mind, like particularly white people, due to the media, whether they're racist or not, their mind would go to a Muslim brother.
Facts, yeah, because that's what you call media manipulation. So finest. You have to understand, how the media have used this thing as well. Remember, people, the media know that there are groups that are pushing certain agendas. The media know that there are English people that feel a certain way. So why did they put out baby? These are the questions that why did you put out a baby picture of the guy? Because you tried to humanize him. This guy has killed children. You put out baby. Of course you're going to agitate them, man. I'll tell man straight. I ain't taking back no talk. Of course you would agitate me if it was 3 black children, yeah? And you put up a picture of a baby killer, the killer as a child. I'd be vexed. Facts. I would be vexed because I'd be like, yo, what are the media doing? Then on top of that, not only did the media do that, people, but they took a long time to release any info, like they were trying to almost hide something. Now, once you do that, you've left the door wide open for propaganda. And that's exactly what's happened here, folks. That's exactly what's happened here. All of a sudden now, there was an innocent guy, Stephen, that Tate and them man put his picture up, It weren't even him. It wasn't even him.
I did hear about that.
That's what I'm saying. Now, you got to think, imagine if somebody knew where he lives.
And that's certain man's God,
Exactly. And on top of that, yeah, I got to be real because, I got to be real. It's Truth Tellers episode 3. I have to be real. I'm seeing a lot of black blogs and stuff talking about, why did nobody speak about when the guy in Nottingham set the sister's house on fire and killed her youths? People, it was damn near only Express Truth. They were talking about who pays on the first date and all of that. Yeah, that's what they were talking about. It was only us that was covering that. So them same blogs, yeah.
Get the fuck out of here, man.
Please. Same blogs.
Please, get the fuck out of here,
because you same ones, yeah, didn't cover that sister. She got burned out of her yard and nobody covered it. Nobody covered it. It was us, Stephen, 1,000 views maybe. It was us who covered that. It was us who covered the samurai sword. It was us it's us who's covering all these things. None of these men ain't covering these things. These men talk about who pays on the first date. That's what these men's topic is about.
What always makes me sick with the influx of these blogs is when they do finally cover something and pretend they care. Like they pretend that they were on the forefront of breaking the stories. It's like even with all the riots and stuff, like I'm seeing certain shitborough pages and that, you're only posting it because everyone's going crazy. Yeah, and I saw it on other comments. I saw it in the comments on the other posts when they were still, all of this was going on and they were still posting their usual nonsense. And people are like, yo, look what's going on right now and you're posting this crap. So clearly you've crumbled to the pressure. Don't act like you care about the people or you're for the people because you're part of this mismanipulation as well.
Mackin, we don't play humanitarians, first of all. And we ain't no targets of nothing. You see, that's how the media's manipulated you. Target of what? What are you talking? Target of what? All them man was out there yesterday. Nobody came out. No one was coming out. All of that was planned for you, man, to go out there and stand up and do all of that. You think I got time to stand up?
We shall overcome someday.
You think I got time to stand up outside Brooklyn and waiting for far right? I'm undefeated against them far right brothers from a child to now.
Through jewelry quarter as well, I was in the gym still. almost passed through. I said, I can't even be bothered. I just come to my yard and watch some anime, then I went to my bed, innit?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I know. I get what people are saying, but they're like, yo, these men are coming to protest. So all of a sudden, these guys are that strong that overnight they can arrange 100 protests. They're that organized, yeah, that overnight they can arrange 100 protests all across England. Come on, people, man. You got hoodwinked. You got hoodwinked, admit it, man.
Bamboozled.
You got bamboozled, hoodwinked.
You got led up the
tricked.
garden path.
Yeah, man. All them man were standing out there for nothing. Them man were in the local pubs drinking beer and all that. Them guys didn't come out. They never was coming out.
Well, Mark, there's a lot of blurred lines because a lot of people are, of course, it's a mixed bag because, like we said, a few man, even a broken clock's right twice a day. Because when we're discussing these kind of things, like I said on Unfiltered, man, and I'm saying it again now, for those who may not have heard it, sometimes it's hard not to sound like reform and all of that because sometimes when you're like, the mental health, like, the immigration and all of that, we might not agree in the same token, but you can agree and say, like, there's certain faculties within the system that are broken. Like, they need to get better at handling the immigration situation. They need to get better with handling the mental health situation. They need to get better with the NHS. There's a lot of things that need improving, man. But then you've got the other side who are I don't know, maybe they are racist or maybe they're just bored. Because I heard one man talk about, all the immigrants, it's like, what's the problem? It's like, well, back in the day there was things to do, now there's nothing to do. It's like what? Well, all the pubs are closing and there's no more gambling shops. I'm like,
he's one of the idiots that was outside.
Waffling, man.
That was one of the idiots that was outside because that's what I'm saying to you. That when you really listen, I've listened to a lot of content, over the past few days on this. And when I'm listening, there's not there's like 5, probably even 10 things rolled into one. So these men are all, I don't even think they know what they're angry about. I don't think they even understand.
But Mark, like I'm always saying, it's pick and choose, man. And the easy thing with aggression, it's easy to pick what you're angry about. So a man comes out and says, let me try and think of a quick scenario. A politician can come out and say, yeah, a great speech. They've said, we're going to tackle this, that, and that, and this, and that, and that. They could have said they're going to tackle 99 out of 100 things. But that 100th one, but what about this and that? Because you've just selectively misheard the other 99 solutions the man had. The one he didn't have, you're upset and you want to burn down the world over. Some people are just like that, man. Some people, Master Wayne, just want to see the world burn.
Yeah, that's a fact. And that's what I'm saying. And then there's another thing what I keep hearing them say about 2-tier police. Have you been familiar with that one, Stephen? The 2-tier policing. So they're trying to say that police are harsher on them than they are on the opposing. I don't even like wording it like that, but than they are on the opposing sides. Now, because I'm not outside actively involved in none of this, I don't know if that's true
hold
or
on,
not.
Mark, I'll talk it for you. Who said that the far right racists have said they get harsher sentences and then the people?
I don't even want to just, you know what it is, Stephen, because there's definitely some far right. You go on to X, it's definitely far right, but there is loads of people that are saying that as well. I don't want to just say all them man are far right.
No, it's not all of them.
I mean?
Of course, no, it's not all of them, but I'm referring to them as that because I don't know their names individually. So I ain't got time to pick the cherries from the tomatoes, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just calling them all of that. I'm just calling them far right. But that's funny because I saw one today who got done for, I think, participating and causing criminal damage, and he's looking at 2 months. So how is that a severe sentence? You've messed up your life with the criminal record, but that's not a very harsh sentence, is it?
It's not. It's not at all, no. That's why I'm telling you that, do you believe it is what they're saying it is? It's like they want, look at all these videos of mans coming together, brothers posting pictures and I never thought it was that from day one. I just think that when the story broke, it was mishandled, and we said, yo, the media are going to do what they do, and they done it. And that's what they did. They did what they did. They were able to agitate one side. So them guys, they were able to make them believe that it was an immigrant, it was a Muslim, a black man. It's all these men are ruining England. What's happened to our country? And people, let's not get this thing twisted. A lot of them sports stars were saying the same thing. A lot of celebrities from that world were saying the same thing. What's happened to our country and all of that?
But the thing, but Mark, you know what it is with a lot of them. I don't know if this is where it's hard to. This is where the lines always blur, because even if you take a sports star or you take an entertainer, you can assume they've got a bit of money, they're successful. Are they just being disingenuous? Because are they saying this to maybe have a certain percentage of the community back them? Do they honestly feel like that? Because even if you feel like, oh, the country's going, I doubt in your daily life it affects you that much.
Exactly, which is why I'm saying that them guys helped put fuel on the fire. They helped to put fuel on the fire. Let's keep this thing real.
In one lump, this situation gave them the excuse. I hear what you're saying, but I honestly don't think they need an excuse. If we're talking about the black community, and I say it all the time, the only people shocked by this are the ones who walk around in delusion. We're hated everywhere. I say it all the time. Some of us hate ourselves, man. Like, it's nothing new under the sun. You either got I can't even say like it or lump it. You either got to just swallow the pill and keep it moving, or you're going to sit around crying, woe is me. No, we should all get along. It doesn't matter if you're black or white. And all them idiotness there. Like, we don't live in this kind of world. We see it all the time. We see the areas of division. When the last one we saw like this, but of course it didn't kick off. But what was it when it started getting sticky in Ukraine and everyone just came and scooped their people? And I'm hearing Africans and, well, not just Africans.
Caribbeans there as well, yeah.
Was stopped at the border and all of this by the Ukraine. It's like, nah, you man ain't coming through. So you wanted to leave people to drop. This is what I keep saying, like, people, yo, don't go where you're not wanted, innit? Like, you're not liked, man. Why are we scared to call the people out for what they are at their core with it? It's racist. And if it wasn't a Muslim immigration thing, it would be a black-brown issue, in my opinion. That's true. That's true. But this is what I'm trying to say.
That's what I'm saying, though. Has it even been... But
go on.
What I'm saying is, when the thing first happened, yeah, it was rumors that it was an immigrant. It was rumors that it was a Muslim. That was not true. That wasn't true. That's what I'm saying to you. The media could have came out and cleared that up immediately.
Well, they didn't want to.
They allowed it. They didn't want it to because they wanted them mans to come out. Once they've come out, then look at the type of videos that, you know, this is the... Matter of fact, I've seen two, the 05 riots in Brum and the 2011 riots, yeah? And every time, do you notice when these things kick off, there's some heinous text messages that are going around. Like, they started saying a woman got liquid acid. They were saying that they were throwing, defacing graves and all of that, and then putting video. What do you think that's going to do? That's called war-mongering. So what they were doing is, remember, you got to think, a man who's seen that saying, what? They done that to my people. Are you mad? And the next thing you know now, you got a bag of people standing up outside. You got a bag of people standing up outside, and that's the part that the media played in this, people. That's the part that the media played, putting out the baby picture. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but they knew what they was doing. They know these guys are looking for an excuse. They know that, and like we always say, even the videos where you see black brothers getting attacked, do you notice it was always like one lonesome black man who was just out there, and then like 5 men would jump on him. The video in Bristol, one lonesome black man. The video in Manchester,
same in Manny as well.
One lonesome black man. That's what I'm trying to say. So just think about the time them videos come out.
For the one that happened in Manchester, there was other black people there. There was another black geezer you seen walk past the camera. He weren't backing nothing.
That's what I'm saying. And so once that happened, then it was like, yo, they're coming to Brum next. Yo, they're coming to here. So you're seeing them videos and saying, yo, these men are going to come and try and do this and do that. Nah, we're going to put up a presence. And next thing you know, you're standing up outside. You don't even know why you're standing up outside. Nobody come. Nobody come. And that's what I'm trying to say. We have to understand that there's a bigger agenda at play here, because there's certain things they want to usher in, you know. Let me just say it like that. There's certain things they want to usher in, and by us warring with one another, it makes them be able to pass these laws
they can bring things around
faster. They can pass it faster. So if anything, when that first happened last Monday, the only thing I was worried about is, when all of us here in the UK should be having the conversation, how do we keep our children safe? You know how much people I've spoken to since last Monday who said, my youth ain't going play scheme. I'm pulling my youth out of play scheme. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. All based off of that attack. Because when things like that happen, it worries all of us. It worries all. We're not really too focused on who the knife man was. We're more focused on how an individual does something like that. But that conversation has completely been buried. Completely. That conversation's been buried. I ain't even heard nothing about the little girls. All it's been about is far right, Tommy Robinson, Andrew Tate. These men are coming out to defend this block. These men are coming out. And all I can say to my black brothers out there across the UK, why does it take acts of aggression towards us for us to come together like that? We always been calling this stuff out. The drillers, the gang members, all these folks are just pestilence in our community. Because when the real conversation's happening, we don't see or hear from none of these guys.
Mark, we say all this. That's why I let you say it,
Yeah, man, I say it all the time, and I'll say it again.
No, you know why I don't say it no more? Because I'm tired. I'm tired of saying it. Because if they really wanted to come to Brum and keep up a Mazza, they'd come here and they'd go after our community. Because I think the only thing we can organise is a carnival to Ross. When it comes to actual injustices, like, we're nowhere to be found. We might protest for 2 weeks and, look what they did me. I went in this shop and But then a lot of the time you look at it like, all right, I need you're never going to know the full 100 because I wasn't there. Then you've taken yourself and you've taken yourself and put yourself in a position that you shouldn't really be in. Because you've gone to other communities or whatever, you may have done something that's antagonized them, or you feel like you weren't respected when you went over there, when other communities don't respect us as it is. But then you internally don't respect your own community. Like, come on, man. Like, we're just all over the place.
No one tried. Is my man trolling or is it for real? Because if he's trolling, Muds, just get him out of here. If he's trolling, just get him out of here.
I don't know.
Hopefully he's not trolling, but if he is, just get him out of here, man.
Fuck him. I don't.
Well, we're not going to say F him because we don't know if he's trolling yet. But I'm just saying, again, we have to be careful in it because I believe there's puppeteering at play. There's puppeteering at play. The original conversation has been forgotten. Now we all talk. What has come from this week? What has come from it? All these men making videos and all. You don't need to make no videos. We know that we have all grown up in the UK together. We know that we all one. We know that. But there are people who want it to go back to the old days. We know that too. And there's always going to be people like that about. Always. Always. And of course they can use horrific crimes like this to rally the troops. Because like I said, the bigger conversation for me is that in those crowds of thousands, that could be my youth school teacher. Now, she may not violently act upon her racist thoughts, but she can act upon it in the classroom. That's what I'm looking at. You see what I'm saying, Stephen? But anyway, people, listen, the lines are open. There's 94 in the building, 38 like. This is what we're talking about. People, hit the like button, man. Hit the like. We're not on here talking about who pays on the first date.
The thing,
or none of that. Real conversation.
The thing with racism, and you want to know the real scary part of racism. And yes, all right, we're not gonna talk about. All right, we know it started slavery and all of that, those horrific things. But over the years, things have had to change in it, and they've gotten smarter with their tactics. But the scariest part of racism is when it's systematic. So we don't know who's at these marches. It could be a teacher, a judge, police officer, a paramedic, a nurse, a doctor. You like being racist. Oh, shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
man.
that's just get him out of here, man. Get him out of here, man. Get him out of here.
Man. And then
not even into no long talking. We're not in no long talking.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
So
carry on.
You don't know what profession or what walks of life these people come from who might have these tendencies towards you or someone who looks like you. So, like you said, you use the example of a teacher. You're sending your youth to school, but their teacher hates them. Then they could hold them back here. They could make their life harder. There's little things they can do. It could be your employer. It could be your colleague. Like there's things we don't do, but we don't think about this. We don't think about this. We feel like race doesn't affect us until. And then you have the other side of people. Everything is racially motivated. So, oh, I didn't get the promotion at work. Oh, the racist at work.
Steven, you know
Could be
about this thing.
Could be a possibility. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, facts.
Could
Man
be a
can act upon it.
possibility, but maybe you're just not the most qualified for the said position.
Exactly. But this is what I'm saying. Like, there's some real uncultured. I've seen it in the past week. There's some real uncultured, unaware black people living amongst us. You know, a man had the nerve to message and was talking about, yo, you man ain't on code. You man ain't on code. When I checked the man's profile picture, Stephen, I almost dropped down. The only thing missing was 7 dwarfs, Stephen. That's the only thing that was missing,
So what? Hold on. So what code am I not adhering to that you adhere to? Please let me know.
That's what I'm trying to.
So curious.
I want to call in. Is there anything particular you'd like me to speak on? Just call it. You see what the topic is? Just call in. There's 93 in the building.
On this past week
it's
of
truth tellers.
in the nation, man.
Did you see the clip where fireman admits to leaving PLC behind? Nah, I ain't seen that.
Nah, I didn't see that one. You see what this is what I'm saying? Like, you don't know who's a fireman. You don't know who's at these rallies. You're in a block of flats apartment. Your things burning down. A man could look around and see there's no one in here and leave you. Like, it's mad out here, man.
Tate's
Like, I'm not even trying to be negative, but as soon as you realize everyone's not your friend, it makes life easier, man. You need to learn the art of not giving a fuck, man.
That's a fact. So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just a situation where I feel like a lot of us were misled. Because even, where do we, when you get them WhatsApps, yeah, and it says forwarded many times, how do we know that a man didn't just sit down and put together that text and say, yo, let me stir the pot?
Most of them are?
All right, let's get the phone line running. Rumble crew.
Listen, everyone gets 2 minutes unless you're talking flames. We got to keep the phone line open. Go through, man.
You're live on Truth Tellers.
Yo, what's up, man? Big up to you, man.
What you saying, man?
Big up, bro. Big up.
Man, not much, man. I'm just, I agree with a lot of everything that you, man, have said, to be honest with you. And I think first and foremost, I need to highlight the fact that you guys appear to be the only ones in 2024 not even attempting, you man are just saying it how it is and talking about the hard, real topic. So salute to you, man.
That's a fact. Thank you very much, caller.
Yeah, man, loved you.
So basically, I one of the things you man talked about was a lot of what's happening now is divisive. Meanwhile, you've got the powers that be who are busy concocting their agenda. And for me, man, I can't begin to tell you, man, how frustrated and angry I am. So basically, I'm an economist. So I read about economics and I teach it. So I have a whole, so that's my perspective is I feel a lot of what's happening now is a result of, it's a result of what's gone on over the past 40 plus years, but in particular, the past 25 years, man. And I do feel life in general has become hard for everyone. But this group, I don't even know what to call them. The media will call them the far right, EDL, whatever the case is. I think the best way I can describe them is I do feel a lot of them are disenfranchised and frustrated with their economic situation. And I won't get into it, but we are poorer than ever before. And I do feel this is just symptoms of the fact that people are poorer than ever before. And then, you know, when you look to the future, I mean, you know, if you look at the clowns who are running the country, everything begins and falls with leadership. You man know that as well as I do. And yeah, I mean, this situation is so multifaceted. I don't even know where to go. But anyways, as I said, I do think this is just divisive. Meanwhile, the powers that be, they're doing their thing.
Definitely, I believe they're definitely benefiting from the division that we have seen over the past week. I'll tell man straight. I've spoken to a couple of them, man. I'll tell man straight. I've spoken because I just like to hear what these men are actually angry about. And you know, I was hearing that they feel like their voice ain't being heard and all them kind of things.
That's right.
In what regard?
In terms of they believe that now this ain't my words, you know, people, but they believe that if they have any concerns, they get grouped in with the Tommy Robinson lot. This is what I'm saying to you. You got to be careful because it's not only, I'm telling you this for a fact, it's not only that kind of far-right man that's out there. They're starting to slowly convert some everyday indigenous people. You see what I mean?
Listen, just watch this. Just watch people. Just rewatch Higher Learning, man.
Facts.
So do you mind if
come back, True Caller. Come back to you.
I don't want to cut anyone off. But basically, I wanted to get both of your thoughts on this because it's interesting you say that there's likely to be teachers and, you know, nursery workers, lawyers, judges amongst this group. Now, so I grew up in South London from 2002 to 2008. I grew up in Peckham. You know, you man can relate from surviving the hood and making it. Okay, now, one thing, what I will say about that whole experience, one thing it gave me is I do feel I have the ability to look in a man's eye. And when I say a man's eye, I'm talking about white folk who I've got a lot of love for, you know what I mean? But I can look at white folk, look a man in his eye and know what the thing is, know whether there's a hidden agenda, whether man don't like me. So absolutely, I agree. You know, racism has been alive in this country for a long time, and just because it's not happening overtly doesn't mean that those beliefs aren't still there amongst people who we are walking with, or walking alongside, passing on the street, in certain businesses that we go to. So I want you know, can you man speak to having a conversation or just being around certain people and you know, this man or this woman's energy is off. I don't know what I want.
Yeah, man. I'm me like personally well skilled for that. I went because when I went to Catholic school, primary school, Catholic school, secondary school. So I can spot them man a mile off still. Mile off. I can spot if a man's just a racist, I can spot him a mile off. You see what I'm saying? But some indigenous are saying that they are scared. Now people are, they're not scared. They're not scared. And I'm like, yo, a brother stabbed 10 youths. Course you're gonna put fear out there. You put fear. I personally wouldn't want my child in no environment like that right now.
But Mark, you know, you also have to. This is what I'm trying to say. Representation matters, man. And for us, a lot of it's negative, and a lot of the time we do it to ourselves, because you have to remember, you might have some Caucasian folks who see this. It's being everywhere. It's plastered across every news outlet. Then you see in quote unquote riots up and down the country. You might live in a remote area. You've never had interactions with someone of color to a big extent. Maybe no more than say morning to someone or a head nod in passing. So you might look and say, "Oh my gosh, are they really like this?" It's like I say with the entertainment stuff, the music, movies, the TV shows. Yeah, I know it can be classed as entertainment, but a lot of people will look at that and make decisions because a lot of people don't come out of their bubble and their comfort zone. Like a lot of people aren't traveled. They don't care about the world. They don't care about other cultures and stuff. They got their circle. They got their bubble, and they're happy. That's them.
That's a fact. That's a fact. That's why I say certain ignorance that we push and help promote. There are small towns out there. A lot of us come from the big cities, and we're in the big cities, and we've got not black friends, and we go to black events and all of that. But there are towns out there, yeah, where there's like one black youth in the school, and he's judged off of what those children see in the big cities. You see what I'm saying? So when man are doing like man's not hot and all, I know it's funny and all of that, but that kind of ignorance is what is promoted. You see what I'm saying? Like that's what's promoted. So there's people who address the only black youth in the school like that. Now I'm not making no excuses, but what are you saying, Cole? I'll come back through.
Yeah. Look, that's a great point. And look, I'll be real with you. I think that there's an imbalance in the way we are represented in entertainment. Let's put music to the side because that's just like we run it. It is what it is. But even if we take TV, right, film and shows, I do feel there's an imbalance. I feel like there needs to be a different portrayal of young. Of just black men and women, black girls and boys. Because again, to touch on your point about in those small towns where there's one black girl or one black boy in the school, like I can only imagine the sort of comments that are going to be thrown. And again, children are innocent, okay? And of course their parents are probably conditioning them at home. But a lot of the times, someone who works with young people, kids are innocent for the most part. So they'll probably see something, hear something, can repeat it. So that's like a whole nother angle why a particular representation of our culture is out there. I don't want to mention any shows or films, but I get really like I can appreciate the art, especially growing up in the hood and and seeing that being represented. But at the same time, my whole thing is that we need the other side. We just need to see the other side, whether it's portraying us in business, academia, you name it. There's arts, other types of arts.
Yeah, it's true, Caller. I know you say you don't want to mention no movies, but this is why I'm so passionate. I'll do it for you still. This is why I'm so passionate about these things because, like I said, getting big up rap man, Supercell, it's good.
Yeah, big him up.
But, and this is a big but. And at the time, I'm like, I didn't want to say this, but I'll say it now. I'm watching. I watch these Marvel movies and that. Yeah, one day a man's in space. Man's flying, man can set himself on fire, all kind of madness. These man get powers and sell drugs.
I'm on the up block. And
stab man, and I'm like, this is what I'm saying. We just can't move away from that. We just can't, and that is damaging us. And there'll be people that'll be like, yeah, but we make other films. What? I told man about the Silent Twins. No one knows about that. No one knows about that. That's a story right there. That's showing you how man can go insane. It was okay, Stephen. But the story.
No. I know it's a good story, Mark. I'm saying, was that made by us though, or was it just made?
It wasn't made by one of us still. But the story's about us. You know what I mean? It's about some It's about some Barbadians who moved to Wales. You see what I mean? And when the first scene in the film, people. A man holds down the little black girl and spits in her mouth and tells her to swallow. What you think? What you think mentally that's doing to them youths? What you say, Caller? Go to you.
No, I was saying that I haven't even seen the show, and there's a reason why. Because I've heard that it's filmed in South London, and that's too close to home for me, man. You know what I mean? Top Boy was a tough watch for me because it unearths fucking trauma that was there. Sorry for our language. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's.
Now you're blessed, man. You're blessed.
Nah, it's all good,
Okay,
bro.
cool.
It's all good.
So it's crazy how you said you basically gave the premise away. So these men have superpowers and they're using their superpowers to sell drugs. For me, that's crazy, and that kind of validates why I haven't even watched it yet, because I'm just like, there was something telling me. I don't know, but
Yeah, it's not the main premise of the show, but it's in there semi-heavy. Because when I think about it, there's 2 characters on that, and then there's a third who's trying to rob from. Yeah, so it's in there, but I feel like because people say no, that's part of our story, but it's not a part of all of our story.
It's
You haven't met every single black person in the UK.
I'd say 5%, Stephen. That's 5% of man's story. Even if you grew up in that environment, yeah, that's an ignorant, degenerate culture. I'll say it. It's an ignorant, degenerate culture, and there's only 5% of us that live like that. We don't need no films or documentaries made about no man who threw away his life. We need film. The Silent Twins, that's an important movie right there.
But Cake, you know what the naysayers
None
are
of us
going to
know
say?
about that, though.
But we all love films when it's the mafia, blood. Which is true, but then you have to remember they have a plethora of other films as well. Yeah, you can go and see Goodfellas and all of that, but then you can see next movie where man attack to Blood Clot Dragon and then foot them mash up and then foot them hear it. I'm talking about The Hobbit. You know what I'm trying to say? Like there's a wide shift in spectrum. We seem to be stuck on the one destination.
Jay, that's not Jay. Big up yourself saying way still, but nah, that's 5% of us. If I get powers, why am I going to go and sell drugs? The man can the brother can turn invisible. He can turn invisible. But caller, big up yourself, caller. Yeah, thank you for the call.
Bible facts.
Appreciate you, man. Salute. Keep up the good work, man.
Most
Come on, man. Big up yourself, caller.
Big up yourself, caller.
But Mark, in regards to Supercell, I'll say it again in case people missed the breakdown. You're gonna do whatever in your nature, innit? Like I give the example all the time. If you're a thief, you're a great thief, you love stealing. Tomorrow you wake up and you can fly. What are you gonna be the day after? The greatest thief who can fly?
All right, here we go. We're bubbling now. People hit the line. We're live on Rumble too, you know. Rumble, pick up. You live on Truth Tellers?
Oh, I've watched Supercell. There's a nurse. There's a nurse in it, and then there's a man having a healthy relationship.
Yes,
with his girlfriend.
which we explained that it's one. We explained that
We
it's
didn't
not
say
the
it's
main
the whole show. We said it's a part of the show.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's a step up from Top Boy.
definitely.
There's a little bit of progression. What was I going to say? Oh, come on now, I've lost my train of thought. Oh,
yeah.
What I want to know is, the whole stabbing incident with the girls.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to understand is, how did he gain access to the building? What was the building like? Was it like a community hall? What was the setup like?
Yes, it was like a dance studio. It was like a dance studio.
Okay.
Yeah. And apparently, for play schemes, the security is not as tight as it is for a school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was thinking, when you were talking about solutions, I was thinking maybe that's something to consider. If we're going to send our children to like play schemes, summer events, maybe the security needs to improve. Because I'm even thinking about metal 100%. Detectors as well.
Yeah, that could definitely.
There should just be some form of security anyway, because play scheme, school, nursery, you shouldn't have been able to just walk in there if you have no business being in there.
Coded locks. I think the things that you have on schools. You have like coded locks, and you have to be buzzed in. So when they haven't fully broken down how it went down yet. But it was too easy for him. It was too easy for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm concerned about, because it's like no questions. Like they didn't give us the full story.
But they still haven't. No.
Thing, because throughout the start of the summer, tensions were high with these incidents, and everything linked back to mental health.
That's true.
When you think about it, because also because I pay attention a lot to like the news. Remember as well when they were talking about mental health patients couldn't access their medication because there was a shortage of medication as well, a few months prior, and the shortage of medication. Then funding got reduced. They started. There was like a series of events because people kept on complaining, why is somebody with mental health able to just walk around on the streets? It takes a lot to section a person.
That's true, but this is what the conversation I believe we should be having. All of us. There are mental health patients that are being released back out into the public way too early. Way too early.
Due to lack of funding, lack of
You know,
facilities.
as well, I'm happy to say this because it's like, you know, when someone hasn't gone through the experience, I've actually gone through the experience of being in a mental health hospital myself.
As a patient?
And I used to hear stories as a patient. And I used to hear stories because it's funny, we don't take things seriously. I used to hear stories, it's not nice there. You know, the nurses don't care about their patients. Until I went through that experience myself as a patient, and I'm very reflective and self-aware, so it's like I could pinpoint what was going wrong, and I could pinpoint that there was a problem, and I needed to get help for my family. I had to literally beg my family to get me out. These places are not nice. They're not putting.
So there's no what? So there's no real. So how was your experience? Was there no real care? Was there no rehabilitation?
I had underlying problems. So I had a thyroid issue.
Okay.
As well. So there's people who don't know a lot about thyroids, but you're very tired. It can cause problems with your memory. You know, there was a lot of things medically that were going on with me, and it kind of triggered depression. When I admitted myself, so I didn't come in under a section. I just thought, you know, this is my last chance for help. It was just like a cry for help. So I actually just said, you know what, I want to appear to do the work and help myself. Let me trust in the institution to help me. And it's like, for me, it was a big mistake. Went in there, I caught COVID.
Oh, Lord.
Caught COVID. I feel bad because like we're going off topic. But
nah, don't worry, caller, man. Don't worry. This is truth.
No,
tell us, man. This is truth. Tell us. You can talk.
Yeah, I caught COVID. I was in there for 6 months. So I was in the mainstream hospital. Then after they treated me for COVID, then I had to go back. I had a cyst growing inside of me. They didn't know what was happening at the time. Because I was just saying, I'm getting tummy ache. So instead of them trying to like treat the situation, so this happened when they readmitted me back into the mental hospital. So instead of them trying to figure out what was wrong, they just ignored me and said, oh, you know, be quiet, you've just got indigestion. The cyst had burst in my stomach, and it took a patient that had the same similar problem as myself to say, look, she needs urgent care. I was told by the nurse on duty that he's going home now. I'm going to have to wait until the nurses in the morning come to take over the shift. So that's the type of behaviour that happens in these institutions.
So how were you able to get out in the end?
Pardon?
How were you able to get out in the end?
I was having I could have access to my mobile phone, but they wouldn't allow like chargers because they said you could harm yourself. So I was basically keeping like a diary of everything that was going on. They put me on medication against my will. Oh Lord! I was on 7 different meds. Bear in mind, I haven't got a diagnosis, but they were giving me medication. The type of medication I was getting was something like they would give to a patient with schizophrenia. I don't have that. There's no family history of that. So I was able to just write things down, record things down, but I was aware that not everyone is able to do the things that I do and observe and record their behaviours. So when I started to gain the strength, because I was just documenting everything, and I was in contact with my mum at the time, and she was like very understanding throughout the whole thing, because my mum had actually, sorry about the noise.
It's all good.
Yeah, my mum had actually witnessed their behaviour, because I was concerned would people believe me, and I was brought up like anything that's going on, keep a record with everything. Wherever you work, keep a record of certain behaviour patterns, because that's another solution. Record keeping, being observant, being aware of your surroundings. If you're going to send your child somewhere, or if you're going to go somewhere yourself, research where you're going. You know, it can trigger anxiety at times, but in fact, eventually, my mum was just saw what was going on, realised that I weren't getting help, and she took things further. We just started writing down names, listing dates, times, and it turned into basically we had to go and take it to like a tribunal, it got to court and everything, because there were just like a lot of incidences that were going on within there. But it's just funny to me, because it's like people have everything to say. Oh, why are they releasing people on the street? No one knows like the full background, because in these institutions as well, you've got people who are addicted to drugs as well, because they can't actually.
But caller, sorry to cut you off, caller, because you're gonna know the answer to this more than me. But how, if you're in a mental institution, how have you got access to drugs?
How have we got what type of drugs are we talking about? Like illegal.
So when you say
drugs?
people are addicted to drugs, we're not
like
talking.
People are coming in.
I think they're going in with addictions, Mark.
Oh, okay.
So people coming in with their addictions, because they can't access rehab facilities, because it all costs money.
So true. Rehab is
stretched, so they have to wait years before they can enter a rehab facility. Then you've got people who are neurodivergent as well. Like neurodivergent, like they could have autism and they're depressed. And then it's like a whole, I don't know if I'm explaining it.
No, you are. I wanted to ask you something though, Caller. So you didn't have any issues of like with schizophrenia and stuff. But they were giving you the medication for it. So what kind of effects was that having on you? Because you didn't suffer from it.
So when I first started going there, I could make it to the canteen. And this was before they decided to put me on the drugs. So I was able to have like a routine where I could fall asleep at a certain time, make it to the canteen, attend, like if they were doing like groups in the library where we could use the computer and stuff, I was able to do that and correspond with friends and relatives and everything. When they started putting me on the drugs, I couldn't get out of my bed. And it was like I was paralyzed in a zombie state. Oh, wow. But
I've heard that they inject man and all that. I've heard that it could. I've heard like you get injected and all that.
I've seen it, and the thing is, they're doing it to our people that look. You know what's worse? In the particular hospital that I was, it was the people that looked like me that were doing the most horrible things, throwing bottles at patients to the point where I had to pull someone up. I said, "Don't do that. Not while I'm here." I said, "You're not going to get away with that. I'm going to report that." And it's when I started to speak out, that's when they started to turn on me. Because I'm a patient. It's what does she know? Because I'm not a violent person. I'm more likely to take things out on myself. But I was very observant to what was going on, and I saw the behaviour of some of these nurses, and they lack empathy.
So, yeah, you're showing a different side, Caller. So you're saying that, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you're saying that there's a lot of issues within these institutions as well.
Yes, thank you. I'm so glad you understand. Yeah, there's a lot of issues. There's people that fit different categories. It's like I can't speak, but it's like, when the example that I said, that you can have someone that is suffering from depression, but they could be neurodivergent, so they could have autism along with depression. So it complicates things. And then if they don't have access to the resources, because another thing, like say for example, if you were diagnosed with like autism when you were a child, those services stop by the time you reach 25. So it's like
So what do you do after 25?
Yeah, those services stop. So here's the problem. So they stop all the services because they say you would have got the help when you were younger and a teen, if you were lucky. But remember, the autism doesn't go away. So you're cut off from funds by the time you're 25. And then what happens is you have to get re-diagnosed. That's why there's a backlog.
Someone told me there's a 3-year wait.
Yes, to diagnose things.
But I'm so glad you've called in. Thank you for this call.
Yeah,
these are the things that we're trying to discuss. Man are waiting 3 years to get an evaluation.
Yeah. See,
sorry.
I'm a fan of the show. I've been listening for years. Like before you came on YouTube as a silent listener, this is the first time I called in. I was so nervous.
Don't need to be nervous, caller, man. You don't need to be nervous, man.
Yeah.
No, I got another question then, caller. So if there can be like a 3-year backlog for people waiting to get diagnosed, is that why we're having these issues with like it's a lot of the time it's men being reported, like just guys walking around that might not be able to control themselves doing all kind of horrible things to people? Is that like a byproduct of them having to wait these 3 years?
Yeah, it is about, and also family structure. It's a combination of things, because I'm fortunate because I had my moral compass to guide me. That was backed by the support from my family. That's why I'm able to maintain my health now, even with the lack of resources. It's not perfect, but I'm able to reason and recognize when something's wrong, and keep myself at home. My way of dealing with it, if I feel within me that I'm not doing too great, I tend to isolate. But you've got some people who they will use violence if they feel threatened by people. My way of dealing with that, if I feel threatened by someone or someone sends something to me, I keep myself to myself. I will isolate. We've got some people, they need to be out and they need to prove a point. So you've got different personalities. It's not like one shoe fits all when it comes to mental health. And it all comes down to your upbringing, how you've been brought up, the access to services. Some I like to research. So if I want to look at, okay, how can I improve my mental health, I will Google something to find out, okay, if there's something if there's a group I can become a part of when I'm ready, or if I can improve my skills, because a lot of things are tied into the reasons why a person's going to be walking up and down the street causing havoc. It's not as simple as...
So basically you're saying that, I don't want to put words in your mouth again, but you're saying that a lot of these problems are being created from these places. Is that what you're saying, or?
Yeah, it's a combination of these places, lack of family, lack of resources. It's everything.
So what do we feel like needs to be done? Do we feel like they need more funding pumped into the mental health sector? People need retraining.
There's corruption as well is within these places, so they can get the funding. Do you know what it is? It's a thing where we all need to change in our own little way. We all need to make changes. Mm-hmm. But the government, they're the ones that need to make the biggest change, because they're not being... I don't think they give us the full picture so that people understand. And then there's a situation where some people just don't want to understand until that mental health person's causing problems within their family, maybe they will understand. But there's some sad cases where everyone might have like a family member with these issues and they want to sort of keep away. So it's a combination of, yes, the government, I would say that, but it starts from your home, and then I would say your community, because a lot of these people that who are within the mental health system, they've experienced a lot of trauma and they've been let down by family, by society themselves. So it's like a domino effect.
Agreed. Because that's why I personally highlighted the Silent Twins movie, because
I know about the Silent
those twins. If you read the book, I would say people, if you read the book, because those silent twins, remember, the reason they were silent is because of what they went through.
Exactly.
Yeah, and they were failed. They were failed at every single junction. They were failed. Yes. They were failed. So the problem got worse and worse and worse until they started doing arson and all them kind of things. But if the problem was looked at from when they were children, and that's what I'm saying, a lot of, like the days when it would be a flex, like you'd hear people say like, I'm the only black man on this road. That might be a flex to you, But when your child's in the school, that's not a flex. When your child's the only black youth in the school, I guarantee you that's not a flex.
Mark, who said that as well? Tony Yale, he was talking about, he took his family out to the bits and so they're in the suburbs and stuff. He's like, okay, it's a different tax bracket. I feel like I'm doing good. But he goes, his daughter was the only black person in the school, and one kid in the school made a hit list, all the people he wanted to kill. Teachers were on there. His daughter was on there and everything.
Exact. So you think about the trauma man are putting on their children by bringing them to these schools. Like, because even with the Silent Twins, the dad, he had a big job with the RAF. They moved him from Barbados. He wasn't struggling. He had money, but he sent them to this posh school, and they were bullied. All they had was each other.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Because the Silent Twins, he comes from what we would define as a silent generation, and that generation, they swear blind that everything they did was to better the situation for their children.
That was the integrating generation.
Yeah. He thought he was doing good by his children by putting them into this school. In actual fact, it caused problems. It isolated them because they were separated from their culture.
Exactly. That's why I seen a quote today, a man said, you don't take a Serbian tiger and then bring him to an African lion tribe and say, yo, be a lion. You can't do that. You can't do that. He's a Serbian tiger. Even if it's 3-4 generations down, he's going to have to mix with some other Serbian tigers. So, yeah, man, caller, thank you very... Before you go, how you doing now? You doing good now, caller?
Yes, I get anxious now and again, but I'm just observing and just going through it, and just trying to be positive and just be in the moment, be in the present, instead of thinking about the past. Just living in the present, really. But
most definitely, keep your head up, man, and keep moving forward. Definitely. That's all you need to do.
You.
Right, caller.
Yeah, take care. Thanks
bye. Thanks for calling, caller.
So, all right, bye.
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 What do you do if they don't mix?
What are we talking about? In what regards?
Nah, this is that's a comment. Caller, you are.
No,
blessed.
I know,
yeah,
I'm
man.
seeing it. But
God bless the caller, people, man. Send the caller some love and light.
Yeah, they were sending some while she was on. It was good, man.
A lot of black people, I'm gonna be real. A lot of us are scared of those institutions, because even me, I know a couple men, who have gone in, and when they've come out, it's like get out.
Different, innit?
A man's like get out. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Even with that youth, I never made no excuse for the youth, but I'm saying, people watch the Silent Twins. That's just a moderate version of how these children can go when they're in environments like that. A random couple move to Wales and have a child, You don't know what made his head go the way it went. You don't know. You just don't know. But these are conversations that are important. And that's why, even with the mental health, conversations around mental health, they're important, because in these institutions, like she said, they were throwing things at them and all that, giving them the wrong medication, doing all of that. So you got to think what a person's going through in these institutions. So sometimes we have to speak about the bigger picture, because my man didn't just get up one day and decide to do that move. That could have been in the works for 10 years. Could have been in the works for 10 years. People, 0121 318 2640. Call in. And people, if you are calling in, make sure you turn your phone up, because the levels on this side are good. What are you saying, Stephen?
It was good to have the other side of it, man, because I don't have any personal experience with mental health or a psychiatric facility, and that was shocking to hear, man. So they're just blindly, randomly drugging everyone. So you go in, like the caller said, she was self-admitted. So you go in like, all right, I need some help, and and they're giving you schizophrenic medication. Like, that's why I had to ask, like, what effect does it have on you, man?
Yeah, man, them things must mash up your head. But it's like, all right, let me tell you now. So for me, when I moved to
Pedro, big up yourself, Pedro.
Yeah, Pedro, big up, man. £50, yeah, mad. I ain't
Appreciate it, bro.
I even got some kind of sound to play. Yeah, big up, man. Now, I'll tell you what my parents did. This is what my parents did. So, my parents moved to Erdington, and the school in Erdington, it was only me and a mixed race brother who was in our class. That was it. Just me and a mixed race brother. So, what my parents did is, they used to make us go to a black Saturday school in Los Angeles.
Facts.
So on Monday to Friday, I'm going to this white Catholic school where, I had my fair share of problems there. I ain't gonna go deep into it now. Patreons know, but I had my fair share of problems. But on a Saturday, I was just surrounded by black brothers all day long. And then in the holidays, I was at black play schemes. Even Stephen, I went Wallace Lawler, for one summer still. I went Wallace Lawler. I went
about Wallace.
Newtown Community Centre every summer.
Worst
Holidays
thing is
and that.
Okay, Mark. Yeah.
So I was in them
man,
places. And it was
man.
all black brothers in them places. You see what I mean? So I was able to. It was balanced out for me. But a lot of men, they moved their children to these places, and their children don't have no communication with anyone who looks like them. So they're different. They're different, and they believe that they're different. And, it can be a recipe for disaster. And this is what I'm saying. The media have managed to take us away from that conversation, and we've just been focused on fighting and far-right talk and all of this kind of talk, when the conversation that we really should be talking about is how we create.
Oh yeah, Kate, you can play
like
the payday for the super chat. True.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Big up Fresco. Big up
Payday,
Fresco.
payday. You want payday? I know that.
Yeah, man.
Carry on.
Yeah, man. I mean, about the Serbian tiger quote, what do you do with the tigers if they don't mix? Nah, man, the tigers will mix. They will mix. It's just...
It's going to be sink or swim, innit? They'll either accept you or they'll fight each other, innit?
But remember, he's not a lion. That's my main point, Samuel. He's not a lion. He's a tiger. He's a Serbian tiger. He walks and looks like a cat. He's a cat.
He's a big cat, but he's a different type of cat.
He's a different kind of cat. They hunt different. They mate different. Everything's different about them. So he ends up believing, I'm a lion, but really he's a Serbian tiger. So, yeah, these are the things that people don't like speak. This is why I say Silent Twins shows you that. It shows you that you just got these. There's a couple scenes in that I had to fast forward. I'll tell you straight. There's a couple scenes I had to fast forward that I couldn't watch. You see what I'm saying? I couldn't watch them scenes. So, but they're important, though. They're important. So, all right, people, you see the phone number 0121 318-2640. Have your say. It's Truth Tellers episode 3. Stephen, what are you saying?
Yeah, I'm saying it's been a very interesting discussion so far, man. People, don't miss your chance to say what you need to say. It's your chance, it's your time to be a part of the conversation, man. Use your voice wisely before we have to get out of here, man.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. So what was the update about this
Talk to me.
the
councillor.
was it a councillor or MP?
Labour councillor.
Councillor, and he said he wants to cut man's throat.
Play the sound, or do you need it again?
No, I'll play it now.
Hold on, I got the article. Kent councillor Ricky Jones arrested over counter protest remarks. And let me get it, not misquote, BBC. Okay, I can't open my phone. Yeah, suspended Labour councillor Ricky Jones has been arrested on suspicion of encouraging murder after comments at London counter protests. Videos had emerged online, reportedly showing Mr. Jones telling a crowd in Walthamstow that far-right demonstrators needed to have their throats cut. A Labour spokesperson said this behaviour is completely unacceptable and will not be tolerated. Mr. Jones and Dartford's newly elected Labour MP Jim Dixon have been approached for comment. You want to play? You can play the comments if you want, innit?
Is that the comments there, Stephen, above the thing?
It is.
All right, let's hear these comments, people, that this Labour Party councillor said. Was it a councillor? Hold on.
You might have to turn it up, Kate.
All right, sorry, folks. Sorry. We're not on the blue.
No, it's not you. It's because he's shouting at a protest, isn't it? So it's not that. Might not be that clear.
People, hit the like button, man. 94. I've seen it fluctuating now.
It's gone over 100 already.
Yeah, man. Hit the like button, folks.
We've got children and women using those trains, destroying the summer holidays. They are disgusting, nasty bastards, and we need to cut all their throats and get rid of them all. I just want to say thank you all. I'm going to leave it now. And free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
You see, so what I'm saying now, yeah, I'm going to get back to the councillor in a second, but obviously, we know what's going on in Palestine and that, but do you see how there's many different things rolled into one, Stephen?
Yeah, Mark.
Like, what does that have to do with what's going on? I mean, it's devastating what's happening, all the rest of it. But why at a demonstration is my man talking about that? When really we've completely forgotten the origin of this unrest, which was innocent children were killed. Let's keep this thing 100.
But we haven't broken down why, how, the history of this guy. Could this have been prevented? What future preventative measures should be put in place?
Exactly. That's the bigger conversation that we've been taken away from. That's the first time I've ever had an in-depth insight to how these mental institutions actually are.
That's the only time.
That sounds like a nightmare, man.
Yeah, it didn't surprise me, to be honest. You don't want to go in them places. I always had a feeling you don't really go there to get help, but that was just confirmation.
Because remember, if they help people, yeah, then there's no jobs for them.
So imagine that, Mark. Imagine that, though. So most of these nutters, yeah, are out here because they may be on a waiting list. But then you're on this waiting list for maybe, 3+ years. You finally get checked in, and then you're not getting the help you really need anyway. So isn't it just one big, pointless, vicious cycle?
It is really, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you won't know. You won't know because you won't know how these things come about. But what we want to prevent these things, don't we? We're hearing too much of these
coming like the Avengers, man. Just want to act after the fact.
If I cared that much as some of these claim to, I'd join the cause. But I don't. But Nick, is it Nick? NJC.
No, NJC.
NJC. I don't even know what is the cause.
The
What is the
cause,
cause?
Mark, the cause, just like we heard the councillor saying there at the end with the Free Palestine comments. The cause, it seems, on mainly on that side, but it seems like on this side as well that was hearing.
Right, here we go. Here we go.
1,216,243,200.
Yo, this is A-Sharp, you alright?
How you doing? How you doing? You live
Yo,
on
yo.
Truth Tellers?
Yeah, cool, man. Yeah, what I'm saying is, obviously with that guy, right, who basically killed those girls.
Wait, caller, turn down your computer because we can hear that in the back, you know.
Okay, obviously the guy who killed those girls, right, was some serious issues with him. Either, I don't know, definitely some psychological issues. So mental illness definitely may have been well, I can't say definitely, but perhaps is a factor. Also, extreme anger issues. A lot of people working around anger, stress. They ain't got much money. A lot of people under pressure. They get what I mean. And I think our culture, aspects of our culture, the majority, not all of it, glorifies a lot of violence and aggression, especially if you look at the drill music.
Yeah,
So I was listening to this track called by a guy called Nutcase 22 called Swing. Have you heard it?
Nutcase. Nah, I heard of him still.
Listen to that song, Nutcase 22 Swing. And when you hear that song and the sound effects of the knives and everything in that song, right? If somebody's really stressed, really angry, and just say that they've got like a iPod on and they keep listening to that over and over again, that could easily encourage you, a person, to go out there and stab up people. Do you get what I mean? That the violence in some of the, especially the music, because how repetitive music is, it doesn't help. Then the family background, was the person having any abuse at home? Do you get what I mean? Those are issues. What you said about those people are getting those two children are getting bullied at school. That's also an issue. A lot of people do have those issues. You know, if they live in an area, say where they're only a black person, a lot of times they do go through some type of bullying, abuse. But the thing is, I said, if you've got a culture that promotes aggression and anger, it doesn't help. You get what I mean? If you've got a culture that's more peaceful and promotes more harmony, it helps you to be able to control your emotions and have more discipline. But if you have a culture that tells you that if a man even looks at you, you must stab him up or beat him up, you get them no. Someone steps on your toe, you take out a gun and shoot them. Do you get what I mean? If you have a culture...
No, true caller, but you know what it is as well with us, another part of it. We are kind of, I don't want to say groomed, but it's almost subliminally told to us, like, you don't get help for things. So, like, how many of us go to counselors and would go to a psychologist and stuff and sit down and share their problems? It's all, me not gonna talk to no stranger. You might tell my problem if you check my business. Like, that's not within our culture, because sometimes it may not always be as far gone as you 100% have a mental health issue, but you could still have issues. Even when we were talking about the silent twins, the trauma and everything that happens. I know they weren't talking, that's hence the name, but I'm just using it as an example before Cake reminds me, because I know that's your show. I know you watched it a few times and that.
It's just an important, you know what it is, Stephen, sorry to cut, it's just an important film for black
of course.
Black, really every black British person should know them kind of stories. You see what I mean? That's all I'm saying. I was just shocked we didn't know. I knew about that book before the film though. See what I'm saying?
I didn't know it was. I knew it was a film because I know there's an old school version, but I didn't know it was a book though. I didn't know it was a book. But what I was saying is, from our stance as a community, we're not really told to get help with things, particularly males. Because, and I'll keep it males for the moment, because it's usually males who are perpetrating these horrible acts. We're not told to talk. You can't express feelings. You can't have emotions. You can't even talk to the man them. You can't talk to your family. You can't seek professional help because people will be like, what's wrong with you? So you might be walking around with all kinds of trauma or all kinds of unchecked issues that you may not even know that you have, that maybe if you spoke to someone, these could be worked on and put to bed. But no, we're smoking all kind of this. We're doing all kind of that. Like you said, we're listening to all kind of music. And then it's just a vicious cycle, man. There's things that can be done, but
yes,
do people want to do the help? Do they want to seek the? Do they want to do the work? Do they want to seek the help? Those are the questions we have to answer.
What you're saying is a huge factor, because it's definitely, if you can get somebody to talk to you can trust, it will help release a lot of pressure. But as you said, because of the way our culture is you're taught to like man up. But that's what I'm saying. I think a big part of how people, the psychology behind it, how people's mind are shaped is their upbringing, and the culture is what really shapes your mind the most. So if you come from a bad family structure, a broken family, because remember there's a lot of black people that come from both broken families, poverty and stuff like that. And that's what I'm saying. The violent films and music and stuff definitely does and help it, contributes to it a lot. So if a lot of persons coming from poverty, that's what I'm saying, and they watch these films and all they do is glorify people selling crack and stuff and stabbing up people, shooting people, you know what I mean, to make money, and the music like that. Like as I said, that song Swing by Nutcase 22, you know what I mean, it programs the mind. If you keep watching something over and over and on repetition, you'll remember it. It programs the brain. That's what I'm saying. And it is repetitive in our culture, because it's not just one or two songs that are like that, it's the majority. It's not just one or two films that are like that, it's the majority. Not all, but the vast majority is like that. So if the vast majority of the entertainment is a type of angry, aggressive and criminal, it's definitely programming the people over time. There's no way that it's not. It definitely is.
Yeah, I hear that. But what I would say, Caller, you see drill music.
Yeah.
Which I said it on the stream the other day. Drill music is geared towards hate of each other. So if you listen to a lot of drill, all them lyrics,
I thought that all Africans are flying high in the UK. I don't know what you're talking about, man. I'm African, bro.
No, I think he's talking about the brother in Wales.
No, because he said, sorry, Amolo. He said there shouldn't have been unrest in the first place.
Hold on, I'm on the phone at the moment.
The offender was apprehended and is facing the full weight of the law. And then he said, "What culture are you referring to?" I was talking about black culture, the only culture that I'm a part of. That was commenting on. I don't know what he's talking about. Carry on, man.
Caller, you there?
Yeah, it's on. It is on.
Caller.
Yeah. So carry on.
Yeah, come back through, Caller. Come back through. Go back through.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. The drill music is. Yeah, it's cool. It's all right, Mom. It's all right. What it is, right, is that in regards to, as you said, the drill music, it is geared towards black people, harming other black people, killing other black people. But just say someone's really angry, right, and they want to take their aggression at that moment in time, and there's nobody black about, but all they can see is white. Why wouldn't they target the white people?
That's a good point. Still,
target whoever they can get their hands on at the end of the day.
That's a good point, you know.
If a black person's not about, you get what I'm saying?
That's a good point, because that's what I'm saying. Like, what makes a man do? You see what I mean? Like the MT, big up. I see what you're saying. Some people are just evil, but you have to think that. Matter of fact, there's certain things I don't even want to say. So, what are you saying, Caller?
So yes, you have got people evil, right? But a lot of people, they're basically being programmed to be evil. I mean, I think some people are definitely born evil, but a lot of people I don't think are. You know, I think that most people, it comes from like programming and conditioned. They're conditioned to be that. We're conditioned to want to be gangsters and drillers. They're not born wanting to be gangsters. They're conditioned to be that way. Do you get what I mean? And programmed to be that way. That's
remember
what I'm making.
This is what I'm saying. The movies, the music, all of that, it's cool. You have to think about it. It's cool. The gangsterism's cool. It's only the last episode out of 30. The last episode out of 5-6 seasons where a man's really learning the lesson. For the rest of it, man was driving big whips, big apartments, money, gal, all the rest of it. So a man's looking at that, like, yo, yeah, man, that's how I need to be living. I need to be getting this money.
That's what I'm saying to you.
Yeah, it programs people, man.
That's what I'm saying to you. And because there's a lot of people, as I said, that are just basically ain't got much money, walking around stressed. We got a cost of living crisis. I mean, when you watch negative stuff, if a person's in a bad mood or believe it or not, or basically suffering with money or whatever, the best things they can watch is stuff like comedies. Funny comedies.
I've even watched 2 documentaries, man.
You
can learn anything. You can learn anything in today's world.
Yeah.
But you gotta program your mind though. You got to program your mind. You got to look at the bigger picture. But a lot of men ain't doing that, and social media is a distraction at the same time. Social media is a big distraction.
It's true. The reason why I said comedy, right, because comedy uplifts the spirit. And if you can put a smile in your face and make you laugh and make a person giggle, it helps a lot. It helps lift the spirit than having stuff that make you feel down and you're just frowning all the time. Do you get what I mean?
Real talk.
But that situation with that black guy Wells is sad, man. But blood, the way society is, I don't think it's fixable the way society is. I think it's going to get worse unless people are honest about the situation. And I think the government as well, as you said, letting people, having a society where you got cost of living crisis and letting mad people out of mental institutions and them get proper help, that does not help, man. Doesn't help at all.
Real talk.
But you can't expect the community to look after people who are mentally ill. A lot of people in the community don't have these skills and they've got problems of their own. They've got their own families to concern themselves with.
That's what we're talking about, though. Like, you see, mental illness, it's something that develops over time. So you got to remember, like, in a lot of these small towns, like, a black family will move in, like I'm not attacking no one's religion or nothing, but, like, say, a Christian black family, and the mom's just going to pray for she's just going to be praying. She's not going to really put no action into place. She's just going to be praying. Now the youth's like, yo, mom, I'm telling you I'm going through this, Yo, son, I'm going to pray for you. Like, no, this is what's happening, mom. I'm getting bullied, A, B, or C. After 5 years of that, man, you can create a monster, man. Real talk.
Yes, it's true. It's true.
And it's not even, I see Anthony in the comments, we're not speculating. We're just going through different, that's not normal. A man doing a move like that's not normal. So it's not normal. It's not normal behavior. So we have to speculate why he did that, because he weren't in his right mind.
But the issue is, I hear what you're saying about the full facts, but they could have been released already. And I know what you're saying about he's been apprehended and stuff, but it's how it's been handled. Because maybe if it was handled a bit better to start with, there might not have been such civil unrest in Southport. But it's all speculation at this point.
No, facts. I agree. I think if they would have, I don't think the first group would have came out if the media released the image and the name. That don't happen. Because remember, they first came out on Tuesday, or was it Wednesday, Stephen? Tuesday or Wednesday, they first came out saying, yo, release the name. That's what they were outside saying at first. Let's release the name. Then after that, it turned into the far right's outside. The far right are looking to mob on people, and they're looking to do all this stuff. And from that point, we completely forgot about everything that happened before, and it just became things that,
let's go get a free Greg's.
Yeah, like, okay. You're always going to have, them films, where man are robbing a bank, and the man will say like, yo, we're robbing this bank, no deaths, and there'll be one nutcase who kills a man.
Immediately shoot someone in the face.
Yeah, there's always one that's what it's like in riots and protests. There's going to be man there who don't care nothing about what the people are outside for. They're just there to just go crazy. You see what I mean?
Okay, I didn't hear from the beginning, guys. I'm going to jump off now, but what I would ask you before I jump off, I'll ask you this question. Okay, how do you think that affects black people now moving forward, this situation? That's what I'm going to say. And I'm jumping off now. I'd like to hear your response.
Me personally, I don't... How does it affect black people?
I feel like...
Brother, you know what it is? The indigenous... Through my lens, I can only talk through my lens. It don't affect us. That's a guy from what's the place, Stephen? Rwanda, in Wales. It's not a member of my community. Like, I don't know this individual.
Directly.
Like, I don't know how that even became a thing.
Mark, all right, let me just say this. Yeah. I feel like it affects us by, it's going to add to the stigma of they're all criminals. It's those who come over here. The black people here need to be watched, because someone said this on the last stream. They were like, oh, but he's British, he was born here and everything. I said, I understand that, but you have to think about it. Whatever he does negatively, it's going to be due to his lineage. So if I went on a mad spree next week or something, they're gonna say, "Oh, from Jamaican heritage." It's gonna be because of where I come from. It doesn't matter. It don't matter what color your book is, or what it says on your birth certificate or whatever. If you don't look identically like them, then you're something else, man. Especially when it comes to causing trouble.
He's not Welsh though. I'll tell man straight. He's not the brother.
Nah,
ain't
he
Welsh.
isn't.
He's not Welsh.
Especially when
Welsh.
it comes to causing trouble and causing issues, then you're gonna be reminded and it's gonna be reinforced that you're not welcome and you're not one of them.
Facts. He'd be Welsh if he was playing for the football team, but if he becomes
we can't say that, Kai, because look at all them ones. Look at all them ones who play for the French team. They're still Africans.
The Africans when they lose, Stephen.
Nah, the Africans all the time. They don't like them, bro.
No, they don't like them, but when they win, look at the French judo team the other day. All Africans.
Guys, nice to hear you respond. I'm jumping off. I'm going to continue.
Yeah, man. Thank you for the call. Thank you for the call.
Take care. Cool.
It all die down once the kids go back.
No,
to
my
school.
point being, when I say it's not even when they win. When they win, the French team won. It's nothing to do with them. Like, they don't like, man, but they'll use you when it's appropriate.
Yeah, because black brothers, they want the black man to show his.
But until they wake up and start taking a disrespect, it's going to continue in it. You keep playing for them in it.
Yeah, facts. It's the people who can't tell the difference who are the part. Yeah, that's a fact, Samuel. That's what I was saying on the Unfiltered. Like, these folk, a lot of these folks who have this broken mindset, they look at all of us you just won. They don't.
It's not even they can't tell the difference.
Different cultures, man.
Do they want to tell the difference?
They don't want to tell the difference, I believe, but it's different cultures. It's different cultures. Like, we ain't gonna know about this boy yet. They'll bring out the details down the line, but there could be some blame on the system. That's why you think it's taking so long for them to really break down. Look, think about it. No one's even come out and said, "Yo, I went to school with the brother. I know him from a football team. He's my next door neighbor." You notice there's none of that. Usually when these things happen, they'll be like, "Yo, I knew David from back in the day. You know, I don't know what happened or A, B, or C." No one said nothing. So you have to think there is definitely something fishy about this. 1000%. How the media, the mainstream media have handled this. If them guys didn't come out on the Wednesday, I believe the media still ain't released no details. And remember, once you put up a baby picture, what you're doing is you're saying, "Yo, this was a misunderstood child," and rare. Nah, man, put up his full picture.
Because the thing is, people are saying like you can't because he's under 18, but I'm saying you plastered the victims everywhere.
Exactly.
And how old is the oldest one? If I recall correctly, 9.
I believe 9. Yeah, 9. So, of course, this is a situation. These situations will always create. I'm not gonna say, because there's been a lot of things that have happened, but anytime a man's attacking youths, it's gonna create issues, man. Trust me, it's gonna create issues, and that's why I believe the media definitely put petrol on the fire. See what I mean? They put petrol on the fire, and then just little things they were saying, and even like a lot of these talk shows and stuff, we're not actually speaking about the root cause of the problem. We're talking about everything but. And even if you think about a man like Andrew Tate, yeah, how are we allowing a man who's sitting down in Romania? He don't even live here. He doesn't even live here, but he's got so much to say on what's going on here. He don't even live here.
All the time.
So he's saying all that stuff. He's driving in some big Ferrari, talking about, "Yo, we need to take back our country." And I'm like, "Yo, you live in Romania? You're not in the UK."
It's like, mixed race and that. I'm saying, are you sure? I remember when it was all kicking off in Peckham, and he basically put all the onus on the sister. Yeah, she definitely was stealing and not. Fuck both their brothers, bro.
Yeah, both the brothers are some idiots. That's what I'm trying to say. Them two, they push a narrative. That's why, again, I'll say it again. In my world, there's no such thing as the one drop rule. There's no such thing. There's no such thing as that, because look at how them man behave. They helped push this narrative. Tommy Robinson, we already know what my man's on. We already know that that's just a warmonger kind of character. He's been going at the Muslims for ages. He's been going at them for years, man. To be honest, I don't think my man's got no power like that again, really. I know he brought out a lot of people to that march, but he does that every now and again. Like, I remember when he was at war with the BBC, and he brought out a big crowd then. But you gotta remember, a lot of these men belong to football. They're called football firms, isn't it, Stephen? They belong to, like, these men. You gotta remember, you know, these guys will link up on a Saturday. Man, act like they haven't watched Green Street and all these films. Like, a man will just get
thing.
That is it Football Factory? All them films. Mm-hmm. A man will just 100 men will just link up in a random place. Like, yeah, we're Birmingham City. Yeah, you're Luton or whatever the team, and they'll link in a field and just run at each other and fight.
Fact.
These men are like that, so you gotta think they're just on some. A lot of them are just on some.
They're not like us.
They just want some action. You see what I mean? But I doubt they're coming into like heavy populated multicultural zones.
Yeah,
I've never seen it.
Unless it's a bullying thing, they're not coming, man.
Facts. Hold on, what we looking like?
87. Look like the people in my sleep, man. Must be a late night for
Yeah, man, we soon wrap up, man. We've been on here 2 hours, so we'll stay a couple more minutes, man. If you want to call in and have your say, call in.
Now's the time, man, before we act like dragons.
Yeah, now's the time before we wrap this up, people. But yes, so like I'm saying, so these are the things that we have to understand. Like, and if you notice, look at a lot of the statements that have been made today by certain people of power, and they're just like, yo, the full force of the law. We're gonna come down with the full force of the law and all this.
Mark, haven't you heard what they're saying now? Like, oh, if you share, I'll send you the thing to play, man.
Yeah, if you share it, if you post videos, they started. You just think, people, they're starting to usher in, because they're even saying hate speech. Yo, there's people on like what is deemed hate speech in 2024? You see what I'm saying? Like, they can say anything's hate speech. So what they'll do is they can lock man down that way.
From you can identify as a goldfish, I don't see what can be deemed as hateful anymore. Like, haven't all the rules gone out the window now?
Wilfred Tommy's definitely got a crowd, but from how the media are talking, I don't think he's as powerful as that.
My man was online today.
I've seen man put hand and feet on my man. Bag of times. My man gets boxed up regular.
He was online crying today, talking about the release where his kids live and all of that. But I'm trying to say, look, isn't that the pot calling the kettle black? Because how many kids and their parents have been directly or indirectly affected by your actions?
Facts. And remember this as well, you know, Robinson wasn't even in the UK when he was pushing this narrative. And another thing, people, what does this say about those who were running down interviews with Tommy Robinson and all that? Let's really talk, Stephen. What are you saying? What does this say?
I remember
platforms were running down Tommy Robinson. Yeah, we're gonna have the dialogue and all that. This is what I'm saying. When did these platforms ever talk anything political outside of that? When? This is what I'm trying to say. But man, we're running down.
No, but the thing is, it's not, Mark. Sometimes it's all right to talk to the other side, you know.
Yeah, facts.
You weren't even. I'm not making excuses, but I'm saying you didn't even ask him that. So what was the point?
Exactly.
You just wanted the look.
That's what I'm saying. A lot of men are just jumping on looks. Like, yo, that's what's gonna get me the clicks. So I'm gonna link my man. You see what I'm saying? That's how I'm gonna get my views up this month. So let me link my man. Like, they're not actually really passionate about what's going on in the community. They're not actually really passionate about having a dialogue that brings some level of understanding. It's just about views, people. And this is why we're here, innit? My council tax payment is $120 a month, and it costs $100 a night per immigrant, per room at the hotel. The top of my street, that's the problem, low-key. I hear that still, but I'm saying, Samuel, if them immigrants ain't bothering you, yeah, why are you bothered? You know what I mean? I'm not saying, like, enlighten me, but if them immigrants ain't bothering you, why are you bothered? Long as the man ain't bothering, if they're bothering you, that's a different convo. Because they may just be doing their thing. Me personally,
I think you might be saying
you
like...
back when they first came to Erdington, we ran into a couple problems with them, man, back in the day. But since then, they stay over there, we stay over here. They don't seem to. They've built themselves up, a lot of them. You see what I mean? I don't get the hate for these immigrants, and you gotta remember a lot of them.
No, Mark, he said migrant, not immigrant.
Oh, migrant. Sorry. Yeah, but I'm saying even though migrant, immigrant, whatever. What's the problem? Samuel, tell me what is the problem? What is the issue you personally have? Because I don't understand this conversation about these migrants. What is the problem?
Hold on, listen to this. Isn't this almost the same thing? The word migrant refers to someone who moves to other places in search of work or better living conditions. The word immigrant refers to those who have moved to foreign countries permanently for work or for better living conditions. It can be used both as a noun and an adjective. That almost sounds the same bloody thing, by definition.
That's what I thought. There's tons of Asian people around me. Is the guy is fresh off the boat? I mean, no, I hear you, but I'm saying even if a man come off the boat yesterday...
do you mean in terms of... Hold on, Samuel. Do you mean in terms of like mans who come over and they're just a drain on the system? I think, is that the point you're trying to make? Versus those who are coming and actually trying to work and stuff. I'm asking, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth.
And when you say they're a drain on the system, what you mean though?
Because
like
if he's saying... Mark, because if he's saying like his council tax is $120 a month, and it's a bills a night to put them up in the rooms, like who's footing that bill kind of thing?
I get that. It's the taxpayer, isn't it?
That's what I'm saying.
It's the taxpayer that's footing the bill. But look what other things we're footing
he's saying his council taxes increase. But Mark, I'm not making excuses, but it's good to hear these kind of things, because I'm saying I think this is where frustrations come from some people.
My council tax is almost $2 a month. Almost $2 a month. It'll be $2 a month when we lit the new year. They are taking the mick, and this is what we're saying. These are the conversations. Ari, big up yourself. The problem people have is the money spent on those who come over here illegally. Money that could be used to help NHS, etc., lower taxes. I hear that. That does make sense, definitely. But saying...
If you have an issue with that, are you deemed a racist?
Yes. That's the problem. We are the taxpayer. Yeah, but one thing that I heard one of them guys say is other places ain't taking these man as much as the UK are. That's what I heard. Like, yo, all these other places are not taking as much of these folks as the UK are. So
maybe, but no one asked when the UK... You know what? When the UK was on other countries, I've been saying this, it's a rock and a hard place, because I can understand if people are upset over that. But the UK have to remember, and this is who you want to call them, indigenous, Caucasian, whatever. Everyone needs to remember. It's almost like historical karma, because are we forgetting the British Empire? England was everywhere, taking over everyone.
Facts.
And like, you've gone to places, you've disrupted people, and then some have said people have come over to this country. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. Yeah. Samuel says, I don't even want to offend anyone. I mean, basically, if you get to our waters, we legally have to save you, which is cool. But the people we are saving, you don't want living next door to you. It's hard.
But Ari, in Germany, you can't become German.
It's hard to explain.
You see what I mean? You can't become German. You just can't.
Well, you're just in Germany.
You're in Germany, so you can live in Germany, but you can't become a German. You see what I'm saying? There's a lot of different things. This is what I say. There's maybe 5 to 6 issues.
There's bag of issues
rolled into one. This is what I'm saying. It started off with the heinous attack, and then from that heinous attack, we've gone all the way down to taxpayers, NHS. This is what I'm saying. There's a lot of issues. Scotland say they want immigrants as they have a lot of jobs empty. Don't know why they don't send most up there. Yeah, man. From a man's bringing something to society, I don't see the problem. If a man's coming in and bringing something to society. Like our people brought a lot to this society. Let's keep it
Mark, can't
1,000.
remember. That's why we were over here originally. We were invited, and it's titled Rebuild after the efforts and all of that after the war that we participated in. Also, Samuel said, I have had people from Congo who've survived RPGs on my street, and they were way better than the people that are coming on the boats.
I hear
This
that.
is what I like. This is why I love the platform, you know, because it gives people a chance to talk, especially when we do truth tellers. Because like I keep saying, there's many issues that are getting mixed into one. And if someone says, "Oh, man are coming over and it's a drain on the taxes and da da da," which is true. That's why I asked the question earlier. But if someone complains about that, does that then automatically mean you're racist, or are you just complaining about the extra financial burden that's being put on taxpayers?
Facts. And remember that they've took a lot of the elderly as well. So the elderly could get, what was it that the allowance they cut from them, Stephen? I want to make sure I'm getting it right. But they've cut a lot of things for the elderly, whereas a lot of things have been cut for the elderly, but have been implemented for people that are coming in. Just make it fair across the board. There is genuine concern out there, people. No matter how much we want to ignore it, there is genuine concern. We weren't.
Hold on. AB, World War II, the Englishman was wiped out, so they come to the Caribbean. No, so they asked the Caribbean to come build. Now you mad? I don't get the question because no one's mad. But Ari says, we weren't immigrants. We were Commonwealth invited over here. My granddad worked for the British Royal for 30 years. Strong pension, went back to Grenada and lived like a king on his land till he died.
That was the dream, yeah. Ari. My granddad, my Hamilton granddad moved back to Yard as well. And my nan and granddad come to England, had their children, made their money or whatnot, and then built a house in Jamaica and moved back. That was the dream for a lot of the Windrush generation.
A lot of us didn't get to do it, but a lot of us didn't do it.
A lot of us, even my mom's parents, that's what they want. All of them came here with a view, but remember, the Jamaica that they left wasn't the Jamaica that was there when they went back.
No, AB says it's a statement now, folks, mad. Who is AB? Who you saying is mad? The Caribbean people or the English? I think he means the English, but just clarify, bro.
That was it, Noble. That was it. Winter fuel.
I don't want to misquote, man. Go on.
Winter fuel allowance. That was it, Noble. Big up, man. Winter fuel allowance. They cut that. So there's a lot of elderly. I remember a lot of them elderly people, have paid into the system. There's enough older
pensions as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of older black people, white people, Asian people, everything who have worked 50 years, 60 years, they've been paying into
But Mark,
the system.
I think I always said it. I said it. You know what? How ignorant I am. I didn't know till quite recently that pensions are taxed. I thought they weren't taxed, Nah,
man, they even tax inheritance, man. They even tax inheritance.
I think that's ridiculous because I'm saying whether it's a state or a private pension, you pay into it. So you've paid into it off taxable income. So when I take it out, I'm retired. I've worked my whole life till 972. I'm still that place you're mad, sometimes,
That's what I'm trying to say. So you gotta remember.
Yeah, that's true. The English are mad. Yeah, it's true.
There's certain things, like I said, what's been cut from the elderly that's affecting everybody, even like their weekly allowance and all of that. It's all changed. So they're saying, yo, why is our thing cut? But we give him money here, there, and everywhere, and I've been paying into the system. There's genuine concern, folks. Something has to be done about supermarkets like Tesco making massive profits while people are struggling.
Facts. Yeah, are the supermarkets as bad as the energy companies?
Not as bad,
but
it is bad. Yeah, it is bad. It is bad.
No, but this is what I'm saying. But Mark, this is what I'm saying. Like, there's many conversations that need to be had because clearly they want some kind of division, and I'm not just talking from a racial standpoint. Because you have to remember, damn near, unless you're rich, everyone's in the same boat. Cost of living, everyone's struggling. You can barely buy XYZ, barely buy sugar, milk, bread, whatever you need to buy. Everyone's struggling. But then you're gonna throw up things like this to make everyone forget and fight. And like what Noble's saying, giving 5 billion to Ukraine. You see, this is why I don't want to
Exactly.
hear it. It doesn't matter
5
who's in
billion
charge.
to fund war.
You're always talking about there's no money. You'll say, so Monday you'll say there's no money, Mark, but then Thursday, oh yeah, 2 billion fund we're giving to so and so. Fix the place, man. Yo, don't let me start.
Yeah, it's true, man. That's like there is definitely agendas at play, and this is what I'm saying. We can't get caught up in just petty arguments and petty warring with each other. There is genuine issues that have to be addressed. That's a fact. But what happens when we just fighting
to Ukraine? Is that still bubbling? Because they don't talk about it.
Yeah, that Ukraine thing's still running heavy, man.
They don't.
The Russians sent in some man to go and push back yesterday in the Ukraine on the Ukraine borders.
We are sent 5 billion.
447 billion. 448 million. 160.
You live on Truth Tellers.
Oh, go on, my brothers.
What you say, man?
Go on.
You look cool, yeah?
Yeah, man. We here, man. What you saying?
Man, I like you, brothers, because you look talk with a level head and you look talk calm. Yeah, understand when I say you understand what I said. But you know what I'm saying in terms of look, my brothers, simple first thing now, yeah. Like you lot are intelligent brothers, yeah. At this stage, yeah, we must see that everything is staged. You understand? Everything is staged for a particular reason. You understand? It's not and don't happen. That incident what happened, that never happened by accident. It's staged, but to cause a certain reaction. And you know what, you know, like, all right, boom. I'm a person. I research. I'm a researcher. And you see, like me, I'm a man. Yeah. So, brothers can hear me. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
You're good,
I'm a man. Yeah. I'm a man. Yeah. So I know about war. You understand what I say to you? Yeah. But since this little thing, yeah, my girl, this girl, this woman for me fearful. Guess what the riot? You understand what I say to you? So I seen a lot of fear, especially because women don't know about war. Yeah, especially with women, I seen a lot of fear. You understand? Right. So like, say for instance, where my girl lives, they were supposed to come down there yesterday. You understand? So she phoned me scared. Her brethren phoned me scared. I think 3,000 people came out on the streets. But you have to understand, if all them 3,000 people, even all them women that came out on the streets, they came out with a fearful vibration. And if it's fear, if it's anxiety, if it's depression, if it's down in the dumps, it's all a negative vibration. I knew these people were playing games. From a long time, we know they're playing people. They're playing games, but especially with their vibrations and emotions, I knew because when they did kill Nipsey Hussle, I must have been in my bed about 3-4 in the morning. I can't sleep. I look on the phone, I see they killed Nipsey. And that was the first time in my life I felt a way about a rapper dying. I felt like I knew him. That's how I felt.
Yeah, that almost deep.
And my brother phoned me and he felt the same way. So you see, in that second, if 100,000 people, if only people like feel like that in LA, that's just a massive vibration that's gone up in the energy from all of us. You understand? And nothing, everything. If you look at 80%, 90% of the countries worldwide, what do they all have in common? They bombard their populations with negativity. If you're in the next country, you might be scared of famine. If you're in the next country, you might be scared because they're cutting off the lights. If it's England, it's another thing. And if you're fearful, if you're fearful, if you're depressed, if you're in that, you can call it a million different words. God, blood. As I said, when I was coming up, I never heard nobody say they had anxiety. If the neighbor had across the road, if he had anxiety, he still had to go work for his 6 kids. So I never hear nothing. And as I said, you can call it a million different words. Yeah, when you simplify it, it's either in a negative vibration or in a positive vibration. And you're not going to attract nothing good in your life if you're in a negative vibration. And of course, you're not going to wake up every morning in a skin teeth vibe. But this is part of the matrix that we're living in. Because you have to understand as well, brothers, we're spiritual beings. So a whole heap of things have been unleashed out. It's not only a physical war, it's digital, it's chemical, it's spiritual. When the OGs in my ends them, yeah, they said in the 70s, yeah, on a Sunday, yeah, them used to play Holly by Bob Marley. And know about Bob Marley with a 528, the only artist in the world that's got 13 tunes in a 528. And when them used to play the Bob Marley, the whole ends, when them send demons or all type of things, them things have to flee from the ends. Them have to flee, run away. And everything is vibration. If you're educated Caucasian from the Caucasus Mountains, you know who we are. You know our contribution. Brothers, look on this. Look, you don't know about the Slave Compensation Act, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Okay. Yeah? We know about the Tuskegee experiment. So we know the CIA was starting to bring down Marcus Garvey. It's a serious blood. And say for instance now, let me drop some knowledge upon the man. Me go to British Museum, yeah? Me go to the British Museum, yeah? And I've been going there for the last 12, 13 years. And the reason why I go there so much is because I used to work in a science museum. So when I used to work in a science museum, they used to have rolling exhibits, things that they bring from the vault, show it for a little time, and never show it again. You feel me? So when it comes to the British Museum, I've been going there for the last 12, 13 years because they were having rolling exhibits where they'll bring up things from the vault, show it, and then never show it again. So when we're like, all right, if we're talking about, look, we're in a world of confusion. People never don't know whether to turn left or right. And if you're talking about any internet guru who said him got the right knowledge, man for follow him, any knowledge he's got ain't going back past 3,000-4,000 years. Now, brothers, I want you to listen to me carefully. They took this plaque down, but when I first was going in the British Museum, they had a plaque saying, we have over 250,000 years of detailed African and world history. Now, brother, when we're going there one time with my brethren, then pick up something from the vault, it's a Pharaoh with Holly Gold. He's shaking hands with somebody else. But cut a long story short, from me going there so many times, it was quite clear that we had supernatural powers. Black people have supernatural powers, and not only that, we was interacting with different beings. But if you have to do your research, and you have to do your research and know where you're done. You see me? So yeah. that be saying, blood. The problem with the Caucasian, yeah, in a nutshell, is that all this fuckery. He's never taken accountability. He's never taken responsibility. You can't tell him nothing when it comes to his fuckeries. So, blood, as I said, when I'm in the British Museum and I'm looking at Holly for the artifacts, what have they done to the artifacts? Licked off their nose and licked off their mouth because it was a black man. Every blood clot sense of the thing from whitewashing history to seeing us achieve, you can't take it.
Yeah. No, I hear that.
Okay, and we have to, and as I said, you see, like, say for instance, this thing, enough man will start we can't be racist. We can only be prejudiced. Cause you can only be racist. I can only be racist if my racism affects the white community in some way. If me and 100 black man rise up and say we don't like white people, that's not going to affect the white community. So I can't be racist. I can only be prejudiced. We know, say, white man, a doctor, judge, teacher, that if they're racist, it can affect us in a different way. We know them things. Yeah? With melanin. Go look out melanin. Melanin does over 52 different things. It's trading higher than gold on the stock market. Every year, Britain, England, France have a conference on melanin, and there's nothing involved. There's none of our scientists even involved. When we even see the supercellular thing, and I respect the youth there, but even the supercell and the sickle cell, when you go research the sickle cell, there's not one black company or laboratory or scientist that's in charge of the research when it comes to sickle cell.
And it affects us. Facts.
Okay.
You're talking facts, caller, man. You're talking facts, man.
Okay. Yeah, and of the melanated, I call black people melanated supreme, because we come in all different tones. Moorish, yeah, that's talking about the sovereignty, celestial beings. That's talking about our spirituality. Or if you don't want melanated supreme, Melody is supreme. Moorish, you know what? Moorish, you can say regal. Yeah, celestial being.
Regal.
And we know. I look on our woman. Our woman is the only woman in the world who can produce any race. When I go on holiday and I'm there with the white people and they see me in front of the sun, at that time they know something different. All as I said, you see with the racism and if you overstand and you can know who you are, we now got down to that low vibrational level. We have to keep the vibrational high. And people have to set the example. And some brothers have to keep an article. Cause that's the only reason I know to keep an article is because I see all the man above me keeping an article. So it's got to be a thing where, blood, when it comes to certain things, you feel me? But again, everything, if you not see from September 11th, the thing stage. If you not see the thing stage, everything, it's all staged. You not mention the Ukraine war. But again, yeah, with the Ukraine war, we never knew we was getting our gas and oil from Russia like that. So it made inflation.
Call it. We're only getting. UK was only getting 8%.
Oh, but it made inflation jump 100%.
Yeah.
Inflation rises on average 10% each year. So in 1 year, it jumped 10 years. So now people start to feel the pinch.
Exactly.
And you do that. And then on top of that, you see, even as I said, the team stage. But even if we're taking this little you and saying, cool, boom, they're saying he's an introvert. Bloody people just not realizing we just had COVID. The youth them was in the house, in the house going crazy.
Yeah, facts.
Why the man, and why again it's proved why them man there was smoking cigars and doing their thing.
Yeah, man. Facts, man. Facts.
It's not no. You understand? It's not. The things is quite clear. It's clear. Clear. You understand what I'm saying to you? And as I said, when we're talking, it's cheeky, yeah. Because as I said, you know what? This is the last thing I said, and it's an interesting thing. I talked to one black man a couple of years ago, one South African, and he's telling me, brother, you know, the crime in South Africa is mad, and the black people in South Africa is doing holy madness, and it's making us look bad. You understand? So, boom, when he said that to me now, yeah, remember he's black South African from a black country. So I said to myself, interesting, because I only thought black people feel like that in a country where they're the minority. Because if you're a black person, if you're a black man especially, yeah, and no matter where you've grown up to you've grown up to hearing, don't do that. You understand what I'm saying? They're scared. Don't do that. You understand what I'm saying? They're gonna. That's all you cut. You understand? Don't talk too loud. I don't want them to think bad of us. Don't do this.
Yeah.
I don't want them to think bad of. That's how you cut. Okay. Don't have your hair too high. You understand what I'm saying to you? Don't wear your head like that. I don't want them to think. But don't talk too loud upon the bus. We don't want them to think bad of us.
Yeah.
So you see, like say for instance that I've been on a train and a black man's acting up and all the white people on the train is looking at me like me for telling him something. But if it's a white man acting up, it's not the same responsibility. So if black youth have one bad in Birmingham, they want community leaders to come and speak about and explain their behaviour. If Jimmy Savile does a fuckery, no one's there to complain. No one's. You understand? And,
facts.
So even with the riots, blood, we just said a couple of weeks ago, a black youth got killed with a sword, and we never said nothing. We never judged that white man for the whole community. But if we do something,
all of us is judged.
You must be mad. You must be a box in your mouth. You must be mad, Caucus. You must be mad in your head. If that rule don't apply to me, if that rule don't apply to you, it don't apply to me. I took that pressure off me long time. And you see me. The reason why we have it's like, set an instance. You see me knowing knowledge, and me knowing myself. Like it's not saying me pick up me say one, do it. It's because I've been getting dragged up by the police since I'm 14 years old. So if you've been getting dragged up by the police from 14 years old. Not only do they want to drag man up, they want to bad man up and talk to man disrespectfully. So they're doing that to me by 14. So when I was 18,
But caller, I think you've come away from your phone still. Caller, you came away from your phone.
I will go back to Africa. When I see him
You can't caller.
and give back the stolen rubies, platinum.
Yeah, it's gone quiet now.
Yeah, I can't hear him.
As far as
Caller.
I'm concerned, there's none of them minds there in England. So when I see you go do that,
Yeah, caller, if you can hear me, your phone completely went quiet, so we couldn't hear you. Call back because you were saying some interesting things, man. Why? Truth Tellers episode 3. Rumble crew. Hit the like button, man. You see how we're streaming HD right now to YouTube and Rumble. Rumble crew. Hit the like button, man. Hit the like button. So,
Or was that YouTube trying to close off the caller, fam?
It could be still.
Wouldn't surprise me, you know. You know some of the comments they don't display.
Yeah, no. And are you able to see that, Stephen?
I got it on the TV as well.
I think this is the caller.
447 billion 400.
Yes, caller. Yeah, it's playing up now, man.
Yo. See, that's YouTube, man.
Caller. Yeah.
That's YouTube cutting off, man.
Mental. He was talking some caller, big up yourself, man. You were talking some things, man.
Bible fact.
You may have to call in on the stream still as well. So we can get the unfiltered to that. So all right, what are you saying, Stephen, man? What time is it now? Damn, it's almost 10 o'clock, man. We're wrapping this thing, you know. People, hit the like button.
Like, share, subscribe. Come on, gang.
Yeah, man. So
Making Thursdays great again, never late again. It's the greatest show on earth, man. Dynamic duo back in full effect. Your favorite podcast. Changing the world one Thursday at a time, man. We out, man.
We out of here, people. Just before we go, though, yeah? Express Truth Clips.
Gang.
Head over there right now and subscribe, man. People, we
there.
out of here, man. Truth Tellers, episode 3. Hit that like button. If you're still in the building now, hit that like button. If you're watching it on the replay, hit that like button, man. We're out of here, people.